Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death. That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
Almost didn't make it up in this mofo. And I just wanted to say what's going on with everybody out there. I think we're having some technical difficulties with the chat room. But if you're listening in to me, just go ahead and reload. We're trying to get the chat room situation in order. But we're still in effect. We're in a house. All right. Please retweet the broadcast. blogtalkradio.com/ghost. is the link to send everybody. And not to mention that we do have ourselves a little bit of a retweet link there. All you've got to do is press that. All you've got to do is also press that little like button, little Facebook like button and all that other nonsense. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is episode number 68. 68. I'm getting ahead of myself. 64. Jesus Christ. I'm late. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, folks. This is episode number 64. Do not, do not listen to the last little blab there. This is episode number 64. Sorry, I'm trying to do 80 different things at once. But once again, please retweet the broadcast. We got a lot of things to talk about. Hopefully we can get through all this without getting too depressed and, getting too somber. Because there was a lot of things to be disgusted about today, not to mention the market, but a lot of the things that are happening in our everyday world, so to speak. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the markets, and we'll talk about everything else that we're going to talk about this afternoon and this evening. Once again, thank you for tuning in with me. What we've been discussing, folks, ever since we started this program in January, we said that we were going to start seeing a retraction in this market at some point in the middle of spring. This is what I've prognosticated. We're starting to see it now. And what I said back then and what I've consistently said is that when this economic contraction in the market happens, and what I mean, I'm talking about the equities markets, that the investors are going to start basically going on earnings, and they're going to start going on news. And this type of positivity, it's a very impulsive market. If you look at today's market, everything was down. And I've said time and time again, the fundamentals of investing have been completely flushed down the proverbial toilet. This is not a joke here. Anyway, let's go on with the markets, folks. I mean, I know that everybody's looking and saying, man, a lot of people sold off today. We were going to see this. But once again, if you're holding the appropriate equities that are going to withstand the potential setbacks of any earnings potentials, because they have high demand, because they have the ability to sit on cash reserves, they have the ability to cut the fat, whatever the case might be, I'm telling you right now, from now on, and let me tell you, we've been talking about this economic contraction in the market. We've been waiting for it. It's here now. I think it's going to extend itself gradually in an incremental fashion. We've just seen the brunt end of it today. It's going to increase itself in incremental fashion going into the summer. But in my personal opinion, what's going to be played the most is impulsive investing. Impulsive investing. Anytime you see any kind of positive news, anytime you see any good earnings, or anytime you see any negative news, anytime you see any bad earnings, you're going to see dramatic spikes on the negative or positive correlating with the news output. You understand? I mean, unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Dow Jones Industrials closed out today 12,263 points, negative 117.53 points on the negative side. Percentage decrease of 0.95%. S&P 500 closed out today at 1,314.16, decrease of 10.30 points, a percentage decrease of 0.78%. The NASDAQ decreased today at 26.72 points, a percentage decrease of 0.96%, and the NASDAQ closed out today at 2,744.79. So let me tell you, there were some losses today. There was a lot of, frenzy trading out here, impulsive trading. I mean, just look at the market. Nothing was up. Not to mention that the news of the Japanese meltdown, which yours truly, the prognosticator of prognosticator, I have been always saying that this damn Japan nuclear disaster was a lot more than they were putting on. I remember when this nuclear disaster first was public, I was prognosticating that everyone that's within the radius of this thing is in immediate danger, not to mention that this radioactive debris and smog and plutonium and whatever's being thrown out in the air is being pushed into the streams of our breathing realms because of the Gulf streams. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, unbelievable, for Christ's sake. This is what is unfortunate. This is what is unfortunate. When you have news like this, the entire world market was down on the equities front. If you look at all the world equities markets, nobody was on the positive. Nobody. Unbelievable. And, of course, we've been dealing with low volume on the equities markets, too, so that doesn't help either. We don't have very many people trading. So let's go to the commodities, right? You would figure that, well, traditional fundamentals would tell you that if equities were, on the negative today, if we saw decreases on the negative, we would see increases on the commodities market. I'd be able to at least parlay some cash into the commodities. No. Brent crude, okay, let's start with Brent crude, the crude oil that shipped out to Asia and Europe. It was down today $2.88, a decrease of 2.32%, closing out today at $121.10 a barrel. You've got gasoline futures on the negative, $39 on the negative. That's a percentage decrease of 3.72%. Heating oil futures are down $7, a percentage decrease of 2.15%. Natural gas futures are on the downside. They're down a penny. WTI sweet crude. Now, I like to see WTI sweet crude down. Don't get me wrong. All right, I mean, and don't get me wrong. I like to see WTI sweet crude down, but, fundamental investing would think that, you see the equities market take a dip, you would put your money in some kind of commodities play. No. WTI sweet crude was down $3.71 today. Yeah, down $3.71 today, a decrease of 3.38%. WTI sweet crude, which is the oil that we consume, which is refined into gasoline, it is now $106.21 a barrel of oil. $106.21 a barrel of oil. Now, I'd like to see that decrease, but I would like to see the fundamentals of investing come back into this impulsive freaking market, for Christ's sake. Unfreaking believable. Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter. Unbelievable. Let's go to the agricultural futures, shall we? We've got canola futures down $13.20, a decrease of 2.28%. Cocoa futures are up because we're starting to hear, even though Laurent Gbagbo has been captured, we're starting to see horrific, even more atrocities happening out there. Things are not settling down on the human butchery aspect. It's looking pretty bad. So let's go ahead and, I guess, assume that the investors are seeing some kind of demand continuing to come out of the cocoa markets because of this unfortunate incident that continues to happen in the Ivory Coast, this complete and utter human disaster. We're going to talk about that later, but cocoa futures are up $28 today, an increase of 0.92%. Excuse me, I was reading the wrong percentage there. Coffee futures are down 70 cents, a decrease of 0.25%. We've seen gradual increases in the coffee futures market, so we were expecting some kind of sell-off. We're seeing sell-offs everywhere else. We're finally seeing sell-offs in corn. You know, I've been talking about how corn is raising up the wazoo, and it's just not spelling good for anybody or anything, but it's down today, $23.75, a percentage decrease of 3.04%. Cotton is down $5.34, a decrease of 2.80%. Wheat declined dramatically today. It was down $24.75, a percentage decrease of 2.66%. Sugar was down today, 47 cents, a percentage decrease of 1.89%. Soybean futures continues to sell off. We've been talking negatives on soybean for the past couple of days, or several days, I should say. They're down today, $38.75, a percentage decrease of 2.81% on today. And what have I been saying about lumber futures, folks? Lumber futures have been declining every day for at least the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And I've been reiterating this over and over again. If you've got a lot of land, if you got a big backyard, if you got a big tree in your backyard, and if you're a father, the least you can do is take advantage of these low lumber prices and go build your kid a damn tree house. The lumber prices are low as hell. The reason is because of the bad real estate data, the idea that people are no longer buying new homes, so, you know, construction is down, lumber's down. So this is why I'm saying, everybody who's listening within the sound of my voice, if you're a father, you know, go out there and show that you're super dad and build your kid a damn house. And if you don't have a son, you know, build your, you know, daughter a little princess playhouse or whatever the crap. All right? Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Lumber futures are down $2.80 today, and decrease today of 1.04% in the lumber futures market. Oat futures are down $10.50. You notice I keep saying things are down, 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 down. I mean, there's no consistency in this market, man. There is no fundamentals following the market that we're seeing right before our very eyes. This is impulsive investing. I've never heard of such a thing. Impulsive investing, for heaven's sake. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's continue on. Soybean oil futures are down $1.57, a decrease of 2.64%. And wool futures are flat. No change today on wool futures. Now, the metals, you would think, okay, well, you know, there's got to be some increase in metals, right? I mean, we're seeing sell-offs over here. We're seeing sell-offs over there. You know, you would think that we would, you know, see some kind of an increase in metals, right? No. Everybody's just selling off. Everybody's just selling off. I don't know if they're cashing in because they want to take a trip. You know, we're getting close to the latter part of the springtime. I don't know what's going on here, but we're having major sell-offs. And this is what I was concerned with. If you look at yesterday's programming, I was concerned when we were flat on yesterday's market. I was concerned because we have been seeing light volume on the market exchanges out here, and I knew that concerned me. I said this yesterday. I've been saying this for the past several weeks, that light volume can legitimately on the whim of bad news, on the whim of a market reaction, can legitimately cause these types of negatives on the marketplace. You can look back in the archive if you don't believe me. blogtalkradio.com/ghost. I mean, I've been saying this crap, and let me tell you, we need more investors in the American markets out here. We don't have that many people that are trading, and as a result, it leaves the market vulnerable to these types of impulsive type sell-offs. But not to worry, folks. I mean, if you're seeing your some of your 401ks, some of your holdings dip a little bit today, that's part of the market. Remember, if you're a long-term investor, you're going to see this type of volatility. You look at a day chart of any stock, it's just volatility is just the way of the new market. But once again, if you foresee demand, if you foresee profits, and if you have a company that has good fundamentals, those are the three keys to a great long-term stock. And in my personal opinion, I think that if you have a company that you know ain't going nowhere for at least another 5 years, all right, you know that it's going to have a demand. They have good fundamentals. This is not somebody that's running on a high debt-to-earnings ratio. The PE ratios are down. Everything's good, and profits are within sight, or at least capable, or they're there, or they exist. I mean, this is the thing that you have to continue to understand when investing in companies for the long term. Now, if you want to short a lot of these stocks, believe it or not, I don't really think there's any kind of strategy to becoming a day trader. I mean, there's so much volatility in the market today, and this is what frustrates me when, I get written by people. As a matter of fact, you want to write me an email, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. I read emails from people that state they can't day trade and take part in these, pattern trades because there's a lot of goddamn volatility in the market. I mean, stocks are literally swinging, 5, 6, 7% in a day, sometimes 10, 12%, depending on what stock and how much volume is in your stock. Why can't American people, just put whatever monies they can accumulate into the stock market and be able to ride these waves? Well, no, because of the 2008 crash, they blame the individual investor, and now you have to have 20, or according to some people, it's 50,000, but I've been told it's 25,000 in a margin account for you to legally, this is by law now. This is our Congress telling us, we got to save the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to force people who participate in pattern trading, we're going to force them to have accounts that are $25,000 on margin, and that's the only way they're going to be able to participate in pattern trading, which is ridiculous, which is pathetic. But once again, folks, if you look at the volatility in this market, if you have the money to legally day trade, there is a lot of volatility going on. And because the volume's low, because people are just up and down when it comes to selling these stocks, there is a lot of money to be made in day trading. And let me tell you, that's what I have been profiting on. My long-term investments obviously took a hit. Everybody who has long-term investments takes a hit when you see bad days on the markets like this. But this is where it's unfortunate, where the average investor who doesn't have just $25,000 to throw, the average person that's just working hard and wants to participate in the free market, or what's supposed to be the free market, they can't throw their little $5,000, $10,000 in and participate in pattern day trading because it's against the law, because our government thinks that somehow that's going to save the economy from a potential shutdown. I think it's a disgrace. But the reason I went off on this tirade is because day trading is an easy thing to do. I mean, there is a lot of volatility, man. I mean, seriously, you can hold on to stocks for an hour and literally it moves up 10 cents. And if you can buy 1,000 shares, moves up 10 cents, within an hour, within 30 minutes, I mean, that's serious money. And then you move on to the next stock. And how do you guess? Not really guess, but how do you speculate on what stock to go into? Well, you got to read the markets. You got to read the news. You got to be on top of things. You got to be multitasking. You got to have Fox Business Channel on the damn boob tube. You've got to have 4 or 5 screens like I've got here on the damn table. You got to have a computer that can be able to run multiple applications so that you can be able to keep track of a variety of different markets. You got to be able to keep track of things like volume, the things like gainers in every market sectors. I mean, you got to do all these. You got to in the what's coming off the wire, what's coming off the news, any potential mergers, any potential acquisitions, any potential IPOs. I mean, you got to think about all these types of things, man. So seriously, it's serious money, it's serious business. And once again, for all the people that are holding long investments, I'm with you. Everybody who's in this market's with you. We take these dips. But hey, man, don't worry about it. Keeping your money in the stock market is a hell of a lot safer than keeping it in the bank. Keeping it in the bank at this point in time is just ridiculous. I mean, you're losing money by keeping it in the bank. In my personal opinion, you're losing money. You're sitting here basically putting your money in a bank account and having it basically make whatever, 0.5%, maybe 0.75% interest, and it's not even giving you enough money to sustain the rate of inflation that continues to happen to our American dollar because of the spending habits of our government. So this is just why I'm saying, no matter what the volatility is, remember, volatility in day trades is now relating to long-term investments. And let me tell you, you're going to start seeing stocks that are going to take dramatic increases up. And let me tell you, if you're holding equities right now that, you're considering selling, but, you're like, well, wait a minute, why should I sell it? I mean, it's got good fundamentals. It's got potential profits. It's got demand. It's even got future demand. I don't want to sell it. Well, then don't sell it. I mean, what I say is that you hold on to it, withstand this volatile long-term market, and let me tell you, there's going to be your stock coming around the corner when they come out with some good earnings, when they come out with some profits. And believe me, when your company comes out with better than expected earnings, everybody knows it, no matter how insignificant you think your stock is. When your stock comes with better than expected earnings, or they're going to sign some kind of deal with some kind of major corporation, I mean, all it takes is these types of news reports, these types of earnings reports, potential merger talks. These are the types of things that you've got to look for. I mean, seriously, these are the types of things that you've got to start playing on in this volatile, helter-skelter, impulsive market. And let me tell you that you're going to, have long-term holdings, that may go down in what you bought it for. That's the market, though, man. If we all knew where the bottom was, it wouldn't be a fair market. I mean, it wouldn't be a market. It wouldn't be a, it wouldn't be a free market society. I mean, it's got to be, you got to hope that you get the bottom. Sometimes you don't. But when you buy at a given market rate and you hold on, and as a long-term investor, you can make some serious money, folks. And let me tell you, I've told you a variety of different stocks in the past that have taken dramatic spikes because of earnings. I mean, what was it? Bed Bath & Beyond has been a recent one. Williams and Sonoma is another one. What was it? I mean, Lululemon, believe it or not. I mean, take a look at these charts of these companies. I mean, just spikes. I mean, just increases of 10%, 15% in one day in some cases, because of earnings or because of deals. I mean, we talked about when what was it? That one coffee company, that Greenhouse or whatever the hell it was, Green Mountain Coffee, was going to put one of their products in Starbucks coffee houses. That goddamn stock went up 20%. 20%. Lululemon. Yeah, people are like, what? Lululemon, believe it or not. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get ahead of myself there. I'm just trying to tell you that, these are how people are profiting in this market based upon anticipated earnings, anticipated news, these types of things. Lululemon, believe it or not, if you made this play, you were probably, into the scene or something, but it is supposed to be some kind of a attire made specifically for people that practice yoga and practice Pilates and, kind of like this new age, aerobics kind of crap. That's what Lululemon is. It's an apparel niche-based outlet store, and they've had better than expected earnings. They've raised their guidance. I mean, just take a look at these charts. It's just disgusting. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievably disgusting. But you see, this is what investing's about when it comes to investing in the market. Don't get taken back if some of your holdings are like, oh man, they're taking a little bit of a hit here. Oh, geez, hold on. There's some fruit bowl in here talking about he wants to give oral copulation to people in the room. Get the hell out of here, you fruit bowl. All right? I don't know if that's George Michael, but this sure as hell ain't no goddamn park bathroom shit stall with a glory hole. Get the hell out of here. Sorry, folks. But anyway, what we were talking about before I got distracted is the fact that, we've got a helter-skelter market here. The traditional method of investing would tell you that today in a down equities market you would see or expect to see in a traditional market commodities up. But everything is down. Everything is down. So that just goes to show you it's a helter-skelter market out here. Anyway, let's get back to the industrial metals, folks. Industrial precious metals, excuse me. Copper is down, took a decrease today as with everything else. It was down $7.85, a decrease of 1.76%. Gold is down, believe it or not. It was down $13.90 today, a decrease of 0.95%. Still above 1,405. So what was the price on that? 1,454.20. All right, $1,454.20 a troy ounce. All right, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 8 things at once. I've got fruit bowls coming into my chat room, trying to proposition people that are just listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Just proposition them for oral copulation or any of this other. Just give me a break. All right? Jesus Christ. Let me go ahead and continue on. Anyway, silver, we saw some, modest decreases in silver. It's still above $40. It closed out today $40.11. It decreased today 49 cents, a percentage decrease of 1.22%. Livestock, I'm glad to see live cattle down because I'm sick and tired of overpaying for cheeseburgers, prime rib, T-bone steaks. I'm sick and tired of it, all right? All right, I'm sick and tired of it. When do I expect gold to jump back up? It could jump back at any moment. I think that right now we're in a right position to see gold and silver take off. Look, what do we do? Pass an extension again? What do we do? I haven't even been keeping up with the stupid political system because I'm sick of it. But I know that we passed an extension to continue to sustain the government. But the next debate is raising the debt limit. I don't know if you folks are familiar with this. Oh, yeah, we're going to be debating on the floor again whether or not we're going to raise the debt limit, on whether or not we should raise the limit of our debt as an American country so we can continue to sustain our government and be able to save face with the international investors out here. And that's what we're debating now. You've got some people that are like, no, we don't want to raise the debt limit. You've got other people that are like, yeah, we want to raise it. Either way, I think it looks good for gold and silver, both those plays. They increase the debt limit, they spend more money, and as a result, by default, gold, silver, commodities in general increase in value. If they don't increase the debt limit, well, for security plays, because who the hell knows if the monetary system is going to be solvent if they decide not to raise the debt limit. Who knows the economic implications? Seriously. That's how investors are going to see if our government doesn't raise the debt limit. We're going to be looking like Greece out here. We're going to be looking like goddamn, Ireland. And I think that either way, gold is a safety play in that particular scenario. And silver. And these metals, commodities in general. So, I mean, I am still bullish on gold and silver. I said this, and I've wrote it in blogs, I am bullish on gold and silver for the next 2 years. Now, after 2 years, once we have to re-elect a new president, we have to base on, our speculations on gold and silver on the policies of the next president and the next Congress. Because in my personal opinion, I think that even if we increase the debt limit, which I think we should, unfortunately, I'm not trying to sound like some bedwetting liberal here, but the next Congress and the next president should crack this damn debt ceiling and debt limit by chopping up this damn spending that we do. I mean, we should be stopping all this spending on corporate welfare, corporate subsidies, farm subsidies, subsidies for the Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, government cheese, all this crap, man. And you see, if that happens when the next president, the next Congress, if they happen to, come in and say, hey, we got to do this, we got to cut spending, well, then I see gold possibly going down, silver going down, which I think might happen, by default, because there's no way we can sustain these types of spending levels, man. There's no way. There's no way. We're fiscally irresponsible. We're spending way too much money. It's disgraceful. It's what it is. It's an utter disgrace. We're calling ourselves a sophisticated, modern, rich society. We can't even balance our goddamn checkbook. Let me take a swig of this beer. I'm sorry. They already cracked open a beer, man. I mean, hey, it was a bad day in the market, for Christ's sake. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this. I mean, our country can't even balance our checkbook, for Christ's sake. It's disgraceful. Anyway, live cattle futures are down $1.15. Live cattle feeder futures are down $1.77. And lean hog futures are seeing sell-offs after increases. They're down a little over $1. And that's the markets for your ass. All right? I mean, unbelievable. Now, I know that there were, some increases on the True Capitalist portfolio, and I just want to, go over them just lightly, because I know there's people that have invested in some of the stocks that we have entertained, and one of the ones in particular was, of course, COKE, and that's the Coca-Cola Consolidated Bottling Company, which I was bullish on February 4th of this year. And as we can see, it increased today in a down market. It was up 30 cents. And let me tell you, if you would have entertained the play for symbol COKE on February 4th, the price back then was $53.16. $53.16 was the price. Today it closed out at $75.53. And that's an increase of 30 cents today. Not to mention, the health insurance play, the health insurance policy of AGP, Amerigroup, that symbol AGP, it increased today almost a whole percent, even in a down market, because let me tell you, these two insurance companies that I have been bullish on, they're in great position to capitalize whether Obamacare continues, Medicare and all this stuff continues, or it doesn't. I mean, the model looks great. Anyway, AGP increased today 54 cents. We were bullish on that stock on February 18th. And if you would have entertained that stock, you would have got in on it at $55.85. Today it closed out at $62.74, an increase today of 54 cents. You'd be up 12.34% on your money. If you would have listened to us on symbol COKE, you would be up 42.08% on your money. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? If you would have listened to us for symbol OIL, even with the down oil market, you'd be up 17.03% on your money. Anyway, I'm just saying, folks, the reason that you're seeing these types of plays, especially with the symbol COKE, and I've been saying this over and over again, this is the impulsive type of buying that you're getting. You're seeing a lot of bears going in to companies that are going to be able to withstand any kind of economic retraction. And the reason that we saw a decrease in the market is because we kicked off earnings season. Yeah, this is the new earnings season for all the folks that are unaware. And yesterday yesterday after the closing bell, Alcoa, which is a big S&P stock, which is a Dow component, released its earnings. And that's why the whole market was flat yesterday. They were anticipating maybe Alcoa would beat the street's expectations, and it would set a good precedent for a good quarter, and, we would continue to sustain the bull market. Well, that's not what happened. Alcoa did not meet the revenue expectation for the streets. I mean, they meet the streets' expectations for for their earnings, but as far as their revenue stream was down, and that's what investors don't like. And they abandoned ship on that particular stock. You can take a look at that chart. That was pretty dramatic if you happen to be holding any Alcoa stock. But that's basically what the market was reacting to, not to mention the nuclear situation in Japan. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about that right now, because I think that it's a disgrace that just now, they're starting to acknowledge that, the Japanese nuclear radioactive fallout, now it's worse than Chernobyl. I've been saying that ever since this goddamn thing started. I've been saying that from day one, for Christ's sake. I've been saying it. And now the Japanese government is going to admit to it? I mean, I was concerned about it right when it happened. I was concerned about the folks that were on the West Coast. I was concerned about people in America. I was concerned about individuals being exposed to radioactive, debris and activity. I mean, what the hell knows who the hell's out there? But now Japan is finally admitting that, this is worse than Chernobyl. Worse than Chernobyl, for Christ's sake, man. I'm not joking. This is just an utter disaster, and I've been saying it from day one, folks. Everybody that thought I was being, non-sensitive to the Japanese situation, you just blow it out your ass. I was just stating the obvious. You can look back in the archive. The prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. And now, all of a sudden, the Japanese government is saying, it's worse than we said it was. I mean, it's Chernobyl. Remember, they kept saying, no, it's safe. Keep drinking the water. Just don't, drink it. Let your kids drink it. But everybody else can drink it. Don't worry about it. Eat the radioactive food. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Man, it's sick, man. It's sick. I mean, I've been trying to yell, folks. I mean, this is what it takes to try to get people aware of what's going on. I've been trying for 5 years on this broadcast on the internet to try to, slap the people that are listening in the face with reality and let people realize that, hey, it is what it is, but let's start reacting appropriately, rationally, reasonably. Unbelievable. I mean, I feel for people out there in the West Coast. I feel for people out there in Hawaii. The people in Japan. The people in Japan are now becoming subjects. They're going to become subjects for science now. That's what Japan's going to be. They're going to become subjects for science. This is just a disgrace. This is an utter disgrace to humanity. And to me, I think it's horrible that the United Nations, some bureaucratic international institution that's trying to shove its influence down our throats and trying to, remind us of how important it is, and how we need it as a world regulator of whatever. This particular incident right now shows that all these international institutions, these bureaucratic political bunch of garbage, United Nations, NATO, all these things are garbage. They're disgusting. If they want to talk about humanitarian efforts, if they want to talk about saving humanity, all this crap they tried to tout, they should have acted on this damn Japan situation. They should have single-handedly through, a unilateral force, or excuse me, a multilateral force, not a unilateral force, a multilateral force. I'm sure other countries would have agreed to this if you would have filed some goddamn resolution in the bureaucracy of the United Nations. You would have been able to gather up all the resources of these damn countries and dump some cement on this damn Fukushima nuclear reactor, for Christ's sake. But no, you know what the United Nations is doing? We're going out to Libya, for Christ's sake. That's what we're doing. NATO, that's what we're doing. We're going out to Libya instead of worrying about a nuclear radioactive situation that could become a potential threat to humanity. And let me repeat that again. This could be a potential threat to humanity. And is anybody giving two rats' asses? No. So why do you think I keep drinking? As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep drinking right now. You know? Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and get another bottle of beer. I got some MGD going on, believe it or not. Yeah. Some Miller Genuine Draft. Here, let me go ahead and crack open a bottle here. Yeah. Woo! Cheers to everybody out there, folks. Let me tell you something. I know it's grim out here in the world. You got to be a realist as a capitalist. But you know what? You got to live life and live it lavish and live it while you can, because you never know what the hell's going to happen. Freaky things are happening. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K, and you don't know what the hell's going to happen. So anyway, once again, we were talking about how the Japan nuclear fallout situation has now been officially declared worse. A worse disaster than Chernobyl. All right, worse disaster than Chernobyl. I want to hear how you feel about this. Are you living on the West Coast? Are you somebody that's concerned at all? I mean, does anybody give two rats' asses that, I could get exposed to, some of this potential radioactive debris, plutonium, uranium, and whatever the hell else is floating around out here in the air and the water? I mean, I'm afraid to go eat seafood, man. I like to go eat fried fish, baby. I like to go eat lobsters and crab, Alaskan snow crab. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I like eating that kind of stuff, man. I don't want to eat it now because I'm afraid that, I might grow a goddamn third leg or something. You know what I mean? I'm afraid I might grow, an ass out of my thigh or something. I mean, who the hell knows? You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to, keep reiterating this, but you know that this radioactive little situation, the whole situation that's happening now, it's the premise of Godzilla, believe it or not. Yeah, so all this radioactivity that's going into the Pacific and stuff, I mean, I can only wonder. I'm not saying that, Godzilla is going to come out from the sea or anything like that, but I would be very concerned about what the hell is lurking on the sea floor there, and, adding this radioactivity could literally just, make it, just a huge, gigantic version of itself, whether it's a shark, whether it's a humongous octopus, who the hell knows? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is what this stuff's based on, for Christ's sake. I mean, we all know that anything that's exposed to radioactivity, there's humongous growths. There's all kinds of just side effects, sideshow side effects, for Christ's sake. And I think this should concern people. I don't think it concerns enough people, though. People are just playing with their pecker shafts. They're not really concerned about radioactivity in the air. So, unbelievable. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. People are asking me, am I prognosticating Godzilla's going to come to life? Now, I'm not prognosticating that, but I'll tell you what I am prognosticating, that all the radioactive material that's being dumped in the Pacific, all the stuff that's being dumped down there is going to have a major effect on the ecology and the life that's down there. And I guarantee it's going to make sharks, fish, crabs, whatever the hell's down there, a hell of a lot bigger. A hell of a lot bigger and with a hell of a lot more limbs. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless. That was the whole basis of the comic books, remember? That was the whole basis of the comic books, the Incredible Hulk, the Radioactive Man, and all I mean, everybody always used to have a superpower because they came across like some radioactive crap, and because they came across it, they get photographic memory, or they become like some superhuman, or, you know, they become some, you know, monster, or whatever. I mean, that's the basis of this. So why exactly would they be, you know, making this the basis of something if, you know, the probability wasn't there? I'm not saying the possibility's there, the probability. Anyway, let me go ahead and stop talking about this. I don't really want to scare people and have them worrying about have them worrying a little bit about you know, Godzilla coming out from the Pacific Ocean. Like, you know, I mean, just that would be kind of, you know, it would be frightening at first, but it would almost be like, wow, you know, like, you know, geez, you know, what's going on? Is this real? You know. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. What do you have to say about this Japan nuclear situation? You know. All right, let's take some calls here. We got Robbie. Are you there? Robbie, you just hung up. Why are you hanging up, Robbie? Damn it, boy. You call up and you're sitting over here waiting in line. You got your hand up saying, yeah, I want you to call in on me. I want you to answer my call. And I call on you, you hang up like some milky-looking piece of nipple clamp loving, butt plug up the ass looking, Ben and Jerry's ice cream tickling your hairy ass crack having, hot dog with mustard tickling your knapsack looking piece of chicken eating cornboy crap. I mean, why don't you call up, for Christ's sake? 646-652-4869. I mean, give me a damn break. All right, let's take another call here. 715, you're on the air.
Hey, Gold, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Do you think that the radioactivity that's going on is going to finally aid the Japanese that want to push out the American troops? I mean, or do you feel like this if anything, strengthens the U.S.'s cause for being in Japan still?
Well, I don't understand your question. What is that supposed to mean? You're making implications and not necessarily asking a question. So, what are you making an implication or are you asking a question?
I was clearly asking a question whether you thought that the radioactivity would either strengthen the cause for the American military to be stationed in Japan, or would you think that it should side more with the Japanese, some of the Japanese that want the Americans out?
Well, you know what? I don't really care. I don't really care either way, to be honest with you, man. And ask a better pertinent question than that, you milky liquor. All right? You sound like one of these college kids that, like, you know, are in the middle of a damn class, right? You're in the middle of class, and, you know, you got a good lecturer going on. You know, he's talking about, you know, something in history, and you got this ass clown that raises his hand and say, you know, but what about, just bumbles up a couple of the words that the professor has been utilizing in repetitive fashion, bumbles them up into a question and say, what about, just shut up, all right? What you should be concerned about is whether or not you're going to be poisoned to death. That's what you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is whether or not this goddamn Japan situation is going to affect the food supply in the seafood market. What you should be worried about is whether or not the people of Japan are going to die off within the next couple of years. I mean, that's what you should be worried about, in my opinion. But no, everybody's worried about something else. Oh, Jesus Christ. Makes me sick. Makes me sick to my stomach over here. Hold on, we're having a damn... Hold on just one second, folks. Let me go ahead and take some more calls here because we're having a damn blow up on the phone lines. I guess I must have hurt people's feelings or something, you know, because I, you know, did this to this character who was like, what about the military, Japanese government? So let's hear some more. You know, there's another 715. What's your excuse?
You're an alcoholic.
Oh, I'm an alcoholic. Is that what you got to say? Well, here, let me drink one for you there, Milky Liquor. All right? Let me drink one for you right here. And believe it or not, we got a fire alarm here going off in the goddamn building. I don't know if y'all hear it. I mean, people out here in the office. Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? I mean, you know, let me tell you, we're in the office. I'm sitting here trying to, you know, have a decent, you know, broadcast here, and we're having a damn, we're having a damn fire alarm. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but let me tell you something right now. I'm not leaving the building. All right, I'm not leaving the building. I don't know. Maybe I should leave the building. I don't know. Should I leave the damn building? I don't know. Hey, you know what? I mean, man, you know, this is what's unfortunate, man. This is what's unfortunate about, you know, being in a big building. You know, some asshole is probably smoking in the John. You know what I mean? He's probably smoking in the John or something like that. And before you know it, you know, he sets the damn fire alarms off. And now we all got to suffer for this crap. You know, I mean, what if I'm working here? You know, what if I'm working? I am working. That's what I'm doing now. I'm working. Good Lord, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. All right, I'm staying here. I got a couple of fire extinguishers in my place, and you know, here in the office, mind you, believe it or not. I mean, you never know. You know, you never know. You could get upset. You know, you could want to burn a document. You know, and it accidentally falls on the flow. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you gotta. It's always good to have a fire extinguisher. But geez, did everybody hear this? I mean, this is whole. I don't even want to step outside. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, let's continue on with the show, shall we? All right. You know what? Let's take a call here. I mean, hey, 408, you're on the air.
Yo, Ghost, what's up? It's Goofy Bone.
Hey, what's up, Goofy Bone? Are you hearing this here? I mean, there's a damn alarm going off in the office building here.
Well, Ghost, as long as you're safe, I'm pretty sure everything will be fine. But if you're not safe, get the hell out of there, Ghost. You know what I mean?
Oh, let me see what's going on here.
Hey, Ghost, you know how much taxes I paid on my stock?
How much?
Almost $10,000, Ghost.
Welcome to America, buddy.
Exactly. I can't believe that. My dad was laughing at me.
I mean, that's the way it is, man. You know, I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, you know, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, you make a profit, and before you know it, you're out here getting taxed to death. You know what I mean?
I can't believe that shit. When this stupid bimbo told me, by the way, you have almost a $10,000 you have to pay back to the good old tax revenue service. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then, you know, she did the numbers, and I said, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I do. But I think it's because of Coke. Coke really skyrocketed. I bought it.
Hey, people are sitting over here saying I don't care. I'm more worried about dying in this building. Well, don't get me wrong. I am a tad bit concerned on whether or not I'm going to get burned alive. You know what I mean? It's not the kind of death I'd like. But
yeah, Ghost. You deserve,
hey, I'm drinking.
If you're going to die, Ghost, you deserve to be the last man on this earth, flipping off the world as it's blowing up. You know what I mean?
I tell you
Ghost,
what. Can you hold on right there, Goof? I'm gonna. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. Just leave me on hold, but I want to make sure you're safe, though, Ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a real quick break here, and I'm gonna see what's going on. I mean, if I come back, you know, everything's okay. If I don't come back, there's obviously a fire. There's obviously a major situation going on here. So just hold on there, Goof, and you know, for everybody that's listening into the broadcast, we're having a fire alarm going off in my office building. And and I got
Ghost, if you get on fire, make sure you do a barrel roll.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one of the first things I learned in school, man, is doing a barrel roll. Stop, drop, and barrel roll. Anyway, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to go out here and see what's going on out here. If I see any fire, I'm running. If we get some blank air, I don't know. I'll try to call from the cell phone, or I'll try to do something, man. So everybody just have a seat, kick back there. Let me look for a quick song here, man. I mean, it could be seconds, before the fire starts encapsulating, any running area. So just hold on here, folks. I'll be right back. I mean, I hope I'm not going to get burned alive here. I'm a little concerned, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like some, pussy whip milky liquor here, but, I don't understand why there needs to be a goddamn, some kind of a freaking fire alarm going off. I mean, what are people doing out here? This is an office building. You understand? This is a freaking office building, for Christ's sake. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, everybody, if I don't come back, please shout for me, okay? Please shout.
You're listening to Ghost on True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
All right, folks, we're back here. If you're just tuning in with us, I'm sorry we had to throw the goddamn show off keister here. A fire alarm has gone off here in the building that I'm located at here at Austin, Texas. There's a lot of haywire going on out here. There's a lot of people not knowing what's going on. They've turned off the fire alarm. I'm hoping that it's off, but there is smoke in the building. Nobody knows where it's coming from exactly. They're saying it's some kind of a little, I don't know, debris that fell on some electrical equipment. I don't know, but it doesn't. It sounds a little fishy to me. I don't know what's going on. Not to mention the elevators don't work. Yeah, the elevators don't work. So. Geez, I don't know. I'm just going to continue on with the show. At least the damn annoying-ass alarm isn't going off. But, it may go off again. It may not. If it goes off again, folks, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm sorry. If it goes off again, I'm getting the hell out of here. Anyway, what we were talking about is the Chernobyl situation that's happening in Japan. What we're doing here is we're talking about how the effects of the dumping of radioactivity into the Pacific Ocean, not to mention all the radioactive smog that's going into the air, is a serious subject matter for everybody in the international community. Everybody should be considerably and seriously concerned when it comes down to actually observing what's happening in Japan, the complete debacle. It's been officially labeled today as a disaster beyond Chernobyl. And it's just unbelievable. I'm sorry if I seem a little distant, folks. I'm sorry. I smell smoke. I smell it, folks. I'm sorry. I smell smoke here. I hope that there's nothing happening here in the building. I was told that everything's okay, but, if everything isn't okay, who the hell knows? Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. What do you have to say about this Japanese situation? Area code 901, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, you all right there, Ghost?
Yeah, I hope so. There is smoke in the building. They said they turned off the alarms out here in the building that I'm at, and now we're supposed to just wait. But I smell smoke. I hope that everything is okay. It's a lot of confusion going on in this building. It's kind of a big office building that I reside in here in Austin, Texas, and. I'm kind of on a high floor, so, it's not just, a quick jump and a skip to go out and, possibly, run into some disaster. I don't even know I don't want to talk about it, but, yeah, I'm all right.
All right. What I wanted to ask is, well, first of all, I really like the show. I may disagree with you politically a little bit, but you make a lot of pertinent points on the marketplace, and I actually, your show is part of the reason that I actually switched my major to economics. So, I
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Let me tell you, economics is probably what everybody should be focusing their creative energies on because, it's going to be guys like you who take information from this show and utilize the economic theories that you learn in the institutional level and be able to apply them to create new financial instruments and to create the economy into a new direction.
Yeah, but mainly what I wanted to ask was, I'm 20, so I don't have a whole lot to offer as far as collateral. I have a part-time job, part-time student. So how would I go about starting to invest, starting to enter the marketplace? What should I do first?
Oh, man. Well, going to school in a part-time job, that's a big time feat within itself. I bet you don't even have much time for yourself, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you have a full scholarship, or is the part-time job supplementing income for like books and things of that nature?
I have enough scholarship. My parents are helping pay it, but I have enough scholarship.
And the part-time money, you're using it to go out and maybe go out to eat and socialize, that sort of thing? Yeah,
for the most part, but I have some saved up.
Well, cool. No. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter how much you got saved up. If you got a little bit saved up, whether you got like 1,000 around that range.
Like 1,200.
Yeah, 1,200. You can easily just open up a brokerage account. And to be honest with you, with an individual like yourself that is new to the market, you'd want to go to one of these brokerage accounts that have like a banking account as well, so that if you make any potential gains in the market, you can kind of just parlay whatever profits you make and put it in your banking account without having to get it wired. And there's a lot of institutional bureaucracy there. But man, these institutions are allowing people to open up accounts for as little as $500. And once you open up an account, what you should do is just go out and continue to deposit money, and no matter how little it is, $100, $200, whatever it is a month, and then just buy, blue chip stocks. I mean, especially a guy like you, that doesn't really have enough money to play the market. You want to be able to buy blue chip stocks so that when you get out of college, after accumulating a whole bunch of blue chips, which are any of the Dow Jones Industrial stocks. There's only 30 stocks on the Dow Jones Industrial, so you can pick any one of those and pretty much be certain that they're probably not going to go anywhere within the next 5 to 10 years. But you accumulate those, and believe it or not, the equity that you have in those stocks is worth more than actual savings account. And by the time you get out of college and you've accumulated, like let's say, hopefully you accumulate $5,000, $10,000 worth of equity because you're long term, you've accumulated them, they've gone up, so you've got about $5,000 or $10,000 right off the bat. You can use that as collateral as you get out of college to be able to bankroll whatever it is you need to bankroll. Not to mention, if your parents or if you can supplement your income by just providing your own sustenance. It's just there as extra capital, man. It's just there as you go to work. You just add on to that, add on to it by buying real estate, add on to it by buying other stocks. I just think that, in my personal opinion, unless you want to start playing these these small caps, because small caps are like these stocks that are within $1. I don't like penny stocks. Penny stocks are garbage, but small cap stocks are stocks within $1, $2 range. And it's a high risk reward, but if you can calculate the market based upon your economic knowledge on how you're being taught in school, and based upon what you're reading, based on what you're listening to, you can possibly speculate a future spike in some of these stocks that go up, $2 or $3, $4 in one day, based upon some news, based upon some earnings, based upon some merger, and you can play that route also with a small sum of money, like $1,000, $2,000. You can buy 1,000 shares of a small cap stock, and if you just hold on to it for a long term, you're going to be in college anyway. And if you can forecast a small cap into seeing it being pertinent within the next 2 to 3 years, you can see that small cap go from $1 to $2, $3, $4. So, man, I'm just trying to give you a different bunch of strategies so that you can go out and start capitalizing, man.
All right, thanks for the advice. One last question. Do you still think it's worth investing in gold, or do you think the bubble's going to burst really soon?
No, I think it's still way ripe to invest in gold. I mean, whether it's physically or futures or mining companies or silver especially also, both of these are very good, at least for the next year or 2 years. After that, you might want to start selling off.
Okay. All right. That's man. Really all I had to say. Thanks, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you calling up, and thanks for the good questions, bro. Appreciate it. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Let's continue going on. Man, I continue smelling smoke out here. I don't hear an alarm, so I'm just going to stay here in my office. I do see some fire trucks as I look out down on the street there. I do see some fire trucks, but I hope that everything should be okay. So anyway, let me just keep drinking beer here. Anyway, we're about 9 minutes in the second hour of the True Capitalist radio broadcast. I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. If you could please retweet the broadcast. All right, we got a little button there. You don't even have to get up and do anything. Just click the tweet button and tweet it around. Tweet it around and spread it around like wildfire, and let everybody know that we're in effect in the house. Anyway, we were talking about how Japan has been now officially declared a worse disaster than Chernobyl. I've been saying that ever since the damn thing began. Let's move on to the violence. More violence in the Ivory Coast, even after capturing Laurent Gbagbo. Everybody anticipated that, once Laurent Gbagbo was going to be captured, that we would see decreases in the cocoa futures. Instead, when I read the cocoa future price today, it was up. And why is it up? It's up because there's still a lot of uncertainty in the country. Even though Laurent Gbagbo is captured, there's a lot of his supporters that are still around. Both sides are still butchering each other. They're still killing each other over this ridiculous election. It's ridiculous, man. And we're sitting over here trying to say that we have a humanitarian effort supposedly going on in Libya. There's people being butchered out here, man. Unbelievable, man. Laurent Gbagbo's people are going into the now sitting president, what was it, Marato or whatever his name is. They're going into provinces that are supporters of he. They're going in there slaughtering them. They're coming back with a reprisal for slaughtering them back. It's just a slaughter session, man. It is a true, disgusting disgrace of human butchery in the Ivory Coast. And is anybody giving two rats' asses? Do you see the, international community, the United Nations, these bureaucratic institutions that try to make themselves so pertinent? Do you see them, concerned about the Ivory Coast? No. You know who was concerned about it? The French. Yeah. The French is actually in the Ivory Coast, helping the anti-Laurent Gbagbo, side of the governing body out there. They were the ones helping arm him and, bomb Laurent Gbagbo's bunker. The French have actually been kicking some ass out here. They're trying to show off, like, oh yes, let me tell you like this: we don't take no crap from nobody no more. Yes, you cannot talk about the French like we are just a lazy bastard. No, we went into Libya, we bombed Libya, we go into Ivory Coast and we bombed the Ivory Coast. And we also we told all the burqa-wearing Muslim women, we told them, you don't wear that stupid little burqa on your face no more in France. No. If we see you walking around in Paris, with a little burqa on your face, we will give you a ticket. Yes, we will make sure you will be in prison for a long time. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm talking to all you Muslims out there. You need to understand the French. We're taking over now. We're the ones that are flexing our balls. Yes, we're flexing our balls, and you're just going to have to take it. Yes, we're gonna make you eat French bread and make you wear berets and prance around in the street. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let me tell you, the French are not messing around. Seriously, they're in Libya, they're in Ivory Coast, they're telling the Muslims, hey, we don't want your burqas on anymore in our country. They're flexing nuts, to say the least. Flexing nuts. But anyway, the Ivory Coast situation continues. There's mass butchery going on over there. Even though Laurent Gbagbo has been captured, his supporters are still crying over spilt milk, and not necessarily crying in a Tea Party kind of picket sign fashion. They're crying in the sense of going into the neighborhoods of oppositions and just killing their family, pillaging, raping women. They're raping women. They're putting them in mass graves out there. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. Over a presidential election, man. Over a presidential election. It's stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even want to talk about it. The only reason I keep talking about it is because I want people to remember that, hey, while we're over here in Libya for a supposed humanitarian situation, we've got butchery and murder and killing and political oppression and totalitarian oppression all over the world. Don't give me this crap that we're in Libya for, we're in there because of the humanitarian situation. Shove it up your ass. And, let's go on to more civil unrest, shall we? Let's go on to more murder. We've been talking about all the murders that have been coming out of Syria as of late. And let me tell you, it doesn't stop. It doesn't end, folks. Today, now, Syria is not only firing on protesters and killing protesters in the street, 20, 30, 40 people a day at a time, but now Syria is killing soldiers that are refusing to fire on protesters. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, this is how sick this world is getting. I mean, Assad, the leader of this particular area of the world, has ordered his men to not only shoot on anti-government protesters, which are unarmed, I mean, they're just out there, causing civil unrest. They are unarmed, for Christ's sake, ordering his troops to mow these people down. Like I said, for the past 2-3 weeks, we've been talking about 20 people dead, 15 people dead, 10 people dead, 30 people dead. Now today, we get reports that Syrian authorities are now killing soldiers. Killing their own soldiers. This is not another troop they are killing their own soldiers that refuse to kill their own people. Can you believe that? Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm not joking, man. I mean, they are killing soldiers that are refusing to fire on protesters. It's just unbelievable. I mean, is there anybody out there that gives a rat's ass? I mean, this is the most horrible thing. I mean, I've never seen such scenes of tragedy in human history, and it's starting to smell a lot like a world war. And I'm not trying to hyper-sensationalize everything, but, man, all this murder and all this devastation, man, it doesn't go away. When you murder people and, you're in charge of butchering people, those people that got butchered, their family doesn't forget. All right, people don't forget about butchery and political motivated killing or religious motivated killing or whatever the case might be. People do not forget. And it's just a disgrace. I mean, it just seems to me that there's so much negativity brewing out here. It's just brewing, man, like a damn Boston beer lager, for Christ's sake. It's brewing, and you can smell the aroma, and before you know it, man, it's gonna leak out the tap, and it's gonna explode the keg. I mean, it's smelling a lot like World War III out here, man. There's just so much unrest everywhere across the world, man. I mean, you've got the Middle East unrest throughout all the countries, and all the countries in the Middle East are having their problems. All right, I mean, you've got the situation between Russia and Georgia, between the Caucasus in Georgia. You've got the situation that in South America, where you've actually got leftist factions trying to oppress the budding emerging markets in South America with violent agitation. You've got the civil unrest that's happening in where else? I mean, Iraq. I mean, I guess that encapsulates all the Middle East. I mean, just everywhere in the damn world, man. I mean, and then we got our own domestic problems, too. Then we got teabaggers and liberal assholes over here making it hard for America to conduct business out here in the world. It's disgraceful. And let me tell you, I don't like the way this is looking, man. This is why I continue to say people need to take their heads out of their ass and need to realize that we're in modernity. We don't need to go down this direction. But people just insist on dying for the most stupid, ridiculous concepts, the most ridiculous ideas, primitive man concepts, all right? Political romanticism, religion, all right? Culturalism, nationalism, all this disgusting nonsense that has done nothing but cause human strife. And I've said this time and time again, if you look at the halls of history, it's written with human blood of human strife that all these ideas have continued to produce on the human condition on a habitual basis. Do you understand? On a habitual basis. And it makes me sick to my stomach that we're still sitting here reporting and still talking about people killing each other over ridiculous concepts that shouldn't even be in existence at this point in time. Unbelievable. Syrian authorities killing their own soldiers because their soldiers won't fire at protesters. I mean, it's just disgraceful, man. I mean, how more sick can you get than that? Honestly, how much more sick can you get than that? You want to talk about humanitarian situations? Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. It just, Jesus Christ. It makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach, for Christ's sake. Yeah. I know, I'm sorry, man. And you know what's really unfortunate is that the young people are the ones that are getting the shaft here. You know that, I know that Obama had said that we weren't going to put ground troops in Libya, but come to find out, ground troops have always been in Libya. Ever since the damn supposed no-fly zone was enacted, we had ground troops in Libya. So, I mean, this is what I'm saying. 3 military theaters of combat. And who's flipping the bill for this? The American taxpayer. You know, you've got Iraq selling oil in the world market at these high rates. They've got billions in surplus, folks. They do not have a deficit. They have billions in surplus. We've got Libya, who we're supposed to be helping, you know, the Libyan rebels who control, a couple of the oil ports and the oil pumping fields out there. We're helping these people, and what are they doing? They're giving the oil to Qatar. They're giving the oil to Qatar, and Qatar is going out and selling it on the world market. And what are we doing? We're incurring debts that, these assholes in Washington continue to bitch about. What we should be doing is either start collecting from these assholes that we, with all due respect, liberated, so that we can get paid back on the deficit, not to mention all the thousands and millions of lives that were lost and affected by these wars because these assholes insisted upon sending our youth to these disgusting, despicable war zones without any kind of actual end-game solution. I mean, we are almost $2 trillion in the hole for Iraq, and we are not getting paid 1 red cent. As a matter of fact, you've got clerics out there prepared to declare a jihad if we don't leave. I mean, it just makes me sick. And this is what I'm calling on everybody who's, listening to me out there. If you're a true capitalist, it's time for you to rise up. It's time for you to realize that it's time for us to take our position. It's time for us to assert our authority. We're the one who fund these little people that are in bureaucracy. We're the one who fund these stupid little social programs. We're the ones who pay the taxes for the permits and for the registrations and for the business licenses and for this and for that. We're the ones who do this. And yet, we're the ones having the finger waved in our faces as if we're the ones causing problems. We're the only ones keeping the folks of society productive. And what I mean I'm talking about the capitalist. I'm talking about every true capitalist that's listening to me throughout the world. And you should take pride in yourself as a capitalist. You should take serious pride in yourself as an individual who understands that you don't want to settle for the bread line. You don't want to settle for Big Brother government giving you what he has allowed to give you. You want to get what you put in. You want to use your mental, physical, and God-gifted prowess to go out and capitalize as much as you possibly can. As much as you possibly can. And that's why I'm saying, folks, all of you folks that are listening in within the sound of my voice, you need to start realizing this is a serious issue that we're dealing with. We got a lot of unrest going on throughout the international community because, let's be honest with you, The regular masses, they don't have the mental competence to be political. They don't have the mental competence to participate in the political process. And anybody who disagrees with me, take a look at this American system right here. It proves that the people that should be the exclusive political party participants are the capitalists, are the people that actually pay the taxes. All right? A prerequisite before you go into the voting booth should be you showing some kind of a tax form showing that you actually funded this government. And let me tell you, we would start seeing political systems rectify themselves really quickly. Are you kidding me? We would start seeing the fiscally responsible, the business savvy, the folks of our economic system basically looking at our government through a microscope. Through a microscope, making sure that none of these bureaucratic scumbags are taking advantage of our taxation. But because we allow the general American public, and let's be honest, folks, the general American public sucks. All right? The general American public sucks, and I know people don't want to hear that. People are like, "Oh, that's not right. You shouldn't be talking that way about the general American public." Well, blow it out your ass. If you're taking offense to that, then you're probably who I'm talking about. You're probably these just pompous idiots that could care less about participating in your political responsibility. Yeah. Going out and voting, going out and knowing the issues, going out and understanding what these bureaucrats in Washington are doing with our money, with our taxes, what kind of laws they're implementing upon us, that is a political responsibility. And if you, as a general American masses, if you're not going to take the responsibility seriously, then why should you have the responsibility? When and let's be honest, the general American public, for the most part, they are collecting entitlements out here. All right? And if you're collecting entitlements, how in the hell can you have any kind of an impact on a government that, you don't even pay for? On the contrary, you have an incentive. You have a financial incentive to see whatever politician promises you more money from the government dole for you to vote for this candidate. And that's exactly what's been happening here in today's America, in today's American political system. That's why I'm calling on all capitalists. We have to take this serious. I know that people listen to me and they think I'm a big joke. This is as serious as a heart attack. All right, we need to take all capitalists throughout the world, and we need to realize that unless we start separating ourselves from the general masses, we are going to get encapsulated with the same general American public or the same general international masses. And let me tell you, I'm a capitalist. I'm not one who is of the persuasion of the primitive mind. I don't oblige these primitive ideas that is so widely accepted from the masses, these ideas of institutionalist religion, this idea of political romanticism and government authoritarian and totalitarianism, this idea of culturalism, my culture is better than your culture, nationalism, oh my God. Let's be honest. We're supposed to fight and die because, some schmucks, back in the old days, cut up this geographic location, these set perimeters, we're supposed to fight and die for this stuff. It's nonsense, man. It's stupid. So that's why I'm so against this stuff, man. This is modernity here. We are living in modernity. And we should not be having to deal with these primitive concepts on the mass scale that we're dealing with. People dying for these stupid causes, people causing disorder, people causing unrest, people causing havoc. For what? Because they're still dealing with the primitive mind that can be manipulated by the dominion of the mind religion, that can be manipulated by political romanticism like communism and socialism, that can be manipulated by the autodetermination of culturalism. They can be manipulated by the idea of nationalism. I mean, this is the primitive mind. Primitive minds can be manipulated. And if you're a capitalist, and if you're a surviving capitalist, if you're somebody that can sustain your capitalist ideas and your capitalist sustenance, well then, by God, you are ahead of the game. You should have more of authority than most of the general American people or the general world population, for that matter, because it is you, the worker, you, the business owner, you, the individual that pays taxes to whatever country that you're living in. It is you that are the vogue of that society. You're the reason why those leaders with their pompous asshole looks upon the people, you're the reason why they get paid. You're the reason why the system has authority. You are the reason. And this is what I tell everybody throughout the international community and us as capitalists. Us as capitalists right now, we have to realize that we are at a point in time where we have to separate ourselves from the general masses. We just have to do it. These people are just turning into utter trash. You know, I mean, I hate to say this, but they're turning into utter garbage. And the reason they're turning into utter garbage is because they like it. I mean, do you understand? This is a free will society, man. They like it. They like the fact that, I just got to just go ahead and collect money from the government, baby. I just got to come back and get my government cheese check, baby. I got to go out and get my housing voucher program, baby. That's all I got to do, baby. I ain't got to do nothing, baby. I can sit back, smoke weed, and watch cartoons all day, baby. I watch Tom and Jerry, baby. I mean, this is what has happened to our people. And this is why we have to separate ourselves, because let me tell you, all this disorder, all this unrest, all the disgusting human strife that's happening in our present day time is happening because of ignorance. Is happening because of the primitive mind. It is not happening because sophisticated, intelligent people understand how it really is. You understand? And let me tell you something right now. I'm going to play a song here. And this song goes out to all the capitalists. All right? Now, I want you to listen to this song because, the song was, written a long time ago. It was written during the time when the baby boomers thought that there were just that their little leftism was pertinent, and how they thought, oh yeah, man, we're gonna live on communes and teepees, dude, and free love, and yeah, dude, we're gonna go to Woodstock and Maui Wowie, man, and just go out there and just have mud pit orgies in Woodstock and eat granola. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But I want you to listen to it because it should relate to every capitalist out there, Because it's unfortunate that we don't have capitalist type of artistic expression like music, like artwork, like literary type of creativity. We don't have this type of stuff as capitalists. You want to know why? Because we're busy. We're busy making money. We're busy living lavish, for Christ's sake. So I would like to play this song, and remember, this was a song made to inspire this little generation that, the flower child, this generation that was supposed to change the world. And, oh yeah, you baby boomers, you changed the world all right, you assholes. Yeah, you changed it to a more socialist, communist-looking authoritarian state. Yeah, all that peace and love, and we're gonna go against Nixon, and we're gonna go against the establishment because it's not right. War is not right. The people that were sitting over here protesting the Vietnam War are the same people sending all these kids to Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's just an utter disgrace. But you know how they came into power? All right? You want to know how they came into power? The same way I'm doing what I'm doing. They relayed ideas. They went out and spread these ideas around through music, through literature, through groups, through communicating, through events, through colleges. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is how they spread these ideas, and this is what we have to do as capitalists. Because if we don't, this damn political romanticism or religious fanaticism or, cultural elitism or, the idea of nationalism are going to overtake those of us that are capitalists, that understand how to interpret reality in a critical and cognitive way. Us capitalists who can interpret the harshness of the world and be able to understand that that's just the way it is. I mean, there's nothing heartless about it. We live in a world where every living organism has to kill and eat another living organism to sustain itself, to survive. And, death is a part of life. I mean, the idea of going out and witnessing carnage or experiencing pain or these types of things is something that we all have to deal with, and it shouldn't offset us. It shouldn't make us unsuccessful. It shouldn't, make us not understand that we are living in great times. This is not the time of the bubonic plague. This is not the time when feudalists were, subjecting the mass populace into serfdom. This is not the time in history when you had kings and queens, having great romantic, balls and parties, and they had their little powder puff hair with all the extravagance. Meanwhile, the regular peasantry was jailed for stealing turnips. We live in a time where we're in modernity, where we can all be fed, we can all survive, we can all sustain ourselves, we can all be sheltered, we can all be clothed, and everything is beautiful. The only thing that's making it unbeautiful is the general people, not just the America, the general people that continue to sustain themselves on this primitive mindset. This primitive mindset that their lives are just so insignificant in this world that they have to subject themselves to political romanticism, which has been proven moot, which has been proven, illegitimate. All right? They want to subject themselves to, death because, oh, my God, it's got a bigger schlong head than your God. Oh, my Jesus is better than your Mohammed. My Mohammed is better than... Who gives a crap? I mean, Mohammed and Jesus have been using you simple people to kill each other for thousands of years, for Christ's sake. Thousands of years. You've been murdering each other, slaughtering each other, butchering each other, and yet you try to shove in our faces, us as reasonable, rational people, you try to shove in our faces that this is somehow holy. This is somehow holy to kill people, to go out and say, oh, you know what, it's okay to blow up people because my God said so and I'm justified. Oh, it's okay to go out and kill a bunch of people because Jesus, I'm doing it for Jesus. I mean, you understand, religious is one of the most dangerous opiates for the masses that is out here today, and that is a threat to world civilization, in my personal opinion. Not just religion, but just anything that captivates the simple, primitive mind. I mean, we've already seen in Egypt what technology introduced to a primitive society can do. I mean, look at what happened in Egypt, man. This primitive society of Egypt was introduced to the internet. You had some stupid Google executive named Wael Ghanem manipulate the whole situation in Egypt, had these wild Yehudis go into the street and basically cause a civil riot. I mean, it was to the point where they ruined their infrastructure. They set themselves back about 20 years. They looted all the resources. They looted all the businesses. They even looted people's homes. They raped women. They were hurting and abusing children. And this was all in the name of supposed revolution. And it was a disgrace, and I will always say it's a disgrace, that our piece of shit media and our pathetic government put this stupid, dumbass little revolution on a pedestal when it's going to turn out to be a disaster. You understand? It's going to turn out to be a disaster, and let me tell you, it's already becoming a disaster. These guys are pissed off. They're unhappy that, we don't like how the army has betrayed us. You know, that the army has betrayed us. It's just a joke, man. It's just an utter joke. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a song. Remember, this is what the damn hippies and all these people that are in power listen to. All right, remember, this is how they were able to influence the masses. This is how they were able to influence people to be influential people within the system, whether it be through corporate America, whether it be through the bureaucratic system of government, whether it be through whatever it might be. All right, they manipulated these people into believing that this flower child, mud pit orgy, Woodstock horse crap was some kind of a vile, some kind of a viable opportunity for society. For Christ's sake, they actually sold this shit. They sold it. And that's why I'm calling on all you, everybody that's listening within the sound of my voice. If you're a capitalist, if you are a worker that pays taxes, if you're somebody that doesn't collect a red cent from the government, if you're somebody that's never, and I do mean never, had anything handed to you, given to you, or bequeathed to you, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm calling on you to start getting creative. We need more artists that promote capitalism. We need, artists in the audible arena. We need artists in the other medium arenas out here to emphasize, to amplify, to increase awareness of capitalism. And that's exactly what this song did for these goddamn stupid baby boomers. But it's a good song. It's a good song because you should hear the lyrics to this song. And just imagine being a young person at that particular time listening to this and having it inspire you into believing that all this stupid flower child, Mao Zedong worshiping, Black Panther, Weather Underground, hippie, bombing police station garbage was somehow pertinent. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the song right now. This is a song by The Doors. It's called 5 to 1. Here we go. Put it on.
Come on. Love my girl. She looks good. Come on. One more. 5 to 1, baby. 1 in 5. No one here gets out alive now. You get yours, baby. I'll get mine. Gonna make it, baby, if we try. The old get old and the young get stronger. May take a week and it may take longer. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over. Come on! Your ballroom days are over, baby. Night is drawing near. Shadows of the evening crawl across the hills. You walk across the floor with the flower in your hand. Trying to tell me no one understands. Trading your hours for a handful of dimes. Gonna make it, baby, in our prime. Come together one more time. Together one more time. Together. One more time. Oh, honey. Go along home and wait for me, baby. I'll be there in just a little while. You see, I gotta go out in this car with these people.
You're listening to Ghost on True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
Anyway, I'm back. The only reason I played that song was to show people that that's how serious they were back then, man. You know, I mean, when people were young, yeah, they were doing drugs, they were snorting cocaine, they were doing all this crap, but, you know, they were political. You know, I mean, they were influential, for Christ's sake. Why do you think that we have the government that we have today? All these people that are in power grew up during this time. You understand? And what motivated them were these types of songs that were like, you know, telling them, you know, yeah, I mean, it's disgraceful. It's just utterly disgraceful. As a matter of fact, let me open up another beer on that opinion. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, let me go ahead and I'd like to take some calls here. Nobody's calling up, but 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to talk a little bit about now. We were talking about how Syria was killing its own soldiers for refusing to fire on their anti-government protesters. So that's a new development coming out of Syria. But believe it or not, there's been a lot of criticism of NATO's role in Libya from the rebels that we're supposed to be helping in this whole military theater, and at the same time, we had the French recently come out and criticize NATO, you know, saying, "Oh, NATO, you know, we don't really need you. You know, look at me in France. I am Sarkozy. Yes, I got myself a model wife that likes to go both ways and likes to do swingers, yes. And, you know, look at me. I went into Libya and I kick ass, and I went over there to Ivory Coast to kick ass, and, you know, you NATO, you were supposed to take over the military combat in Libya, yes, but you didn't do it. And why didn't you do it, Daddy? You piece of crap, yes, no." Anyway, the NATO general, all right? The NATO general came out today and said that, well, let's be honest, the NATO general, he came out and said, I think we're doing a great job. I don't know what they're talking about out there in France, but, you know, we're doing a great job out here in NATO. We're trying to, you know, go out there and, you know, give it our all out there, you know, try to provide cover for these Libyan bastards. So I don't know what this, you know, French froggy is talking about over here. You know, he's probably got a, you know, some kind of a French bread shoved up his arse or something. Because let me tell you, we're doing great things here at NATO. That's what we're doing. You know, if it wasn't for us, I mean, these rebels wouldn't be able to do a goddamn thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, and it's causing a semi-rift, believe it or not, between the French and the British. And I mean, it's just an utter disgrace what's happening. I mean, this military theater has been a front to unearth a bunch of, you know, demons from a lot of countries that are involved in this. And, you know, no, I know NATO is in Belgium, but, you know, the general's not Belgian. So, but anyway, you know, supposedly, you know, they think they're doing a great job. You know, they think NATO's doing a great job. They think NATO's a, you know, big badass. All right? But inevitably, they're not. And I think that, you know, to be completely honest with you, in my personal opinion, I think that this has just been a complete and utter debacle. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a complete and utter debacle here in, you know, this Libyan front. And then you've got the people that are supposed to be covering the rebels' asses, you know, fighting with each other on whether or not these people are doing a good job or not. You got the French saying, yeah, NATO sucks. You got NATO saying, oh, yeah, froggies suck. You got all this crap, you know? And meanwhile, Obama, what is he doing? He's sending troops in. You know, there had always been troops in Libya, folks. It's just come out today. If you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself. There's always been troops in Libya. To coordinate the whole to coordinate the whole airstrikes and the whole no-fly zone, there had to have been troops. I mean, it's a disgrace, man. 3 theaters of combat, man. I mean, it's just disgraceful, man. It really is. It's really horrible. And I can't believe that there's nobody out there pissed about all this. Everybody's just like, yeah, look who it is. It's the American Idol, that Pia Tortilla, Toscano, whatever her name is. Yeah, the broad that was trying to show her ass on the American Idol, and everybody hated on her. Oh, look, there she is. She's banging one of the Dancing with the stars. Oh, yeah. I mean, give me a break, man. Give me a freaking break. But anyway, this is some serious crap. I mean, we're seeing the probably unraveling of NATO. I think that we may be seeing the unraveling of NATO in this military theater of combat here in Libya, because, I mean, they've just botched it. Why do you think the French have been taking the initiative in these theaters? They've been taking the initiative because they're trying to assert themselves as, look at us. We're not just a bunch of pussies anymore. We are a superpower now, and you have to respect us. You can't sit here and call us little froggies anymore. You know what I mean? Yes. So, as we can see, the French, they're not messing around. You know what I mean? So, the next time you compare, some guy who gets his ass whooped to a, French prize fighter, I don't know, maybe you should think twice now, I don't know. Anyway, 646-652-4869, we're talking about how the NATO general is saying that NATO's doing a great job in Libya. Of course, Sarkozy's saying, NATO sucks. You're having a big internal struggle going on there in the bureaucratic power. This is what you expect from bureaucrats, This is the kind of crap you expect from bureaucrats, especially institutional, international bureaucrats. So give me a break. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Libya anymore because nobody really cares. I mean, if we really cared, I remember when Bush went into Iraq, went into Afghanistan, we had people in the streets. We were like, mass anti-war protests, mass anti-war national protests that were organized and marches. I haven't heard one goddamn thing about this Libyan military theater of combat. The utter hypocrisy and the utter disgrace that the American masses are when it comes to being politically responsible is unbelievable. This is why I say the exclusive damn party that should be participating in the political process are the capitalists. And a prerequisite before you even enter into the voting booth is somebody showing a damn tax form proving that they paid taxes before they participate in the political process. That should be a prerequisite, and if anybody that wants to debate me on that, I want you to get your fat ass up off your chair and get to the nearest phone and give me a call right now. 646-652-4869, you milky liquor. Because I'm right. I mean, the general American masses have literally let us down by not participating in the political process, and those that are participating are electing these power-hungry autocrats that could give two rats' asses about being statesmen for the American people. They could care less about this country. The only thing they care about is continuing to bloviate their campaign contribution accounts with more and more campaign contribution funds. Because, and I've told you this before, it doesn't matter how much money they raise. All the money that they raise throughout their whole political career, all the money that they put in that campaign contribution account, once they're no longer in office, it's in their personal name, tax-free. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Well, how do you think these goddamn career politicians become millionaires? Huh? How do you think they become millionaires? Once they're no longer in office, they go out and, they take the campaign contribution account fund, and this is legal. This is not illegal. This is legal. They take that and they put it in their own personal bank account and they pay no taxes. I repeat that again. No taxes. Milky liquors, man. Makes me sick. I mean, I just can't believe this, man. I just can't believe this. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter before I get pissed off here. All right, before I get pissed off, these NATO assholes saying they're doing a good job. You get these froggies, these French frogs over here talking about, oh, no, it's not good. They're not doing a good job at NATO. They suck. Yes. So anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. We got a 715 caller again. What do you want?
Yeah, Auto Birth Mears speaking. Your car number 650 came in. We need you to pick it right up. She's been waiting in the shop for a while now.
You stupid dumb. You sound like a Canadian bacon bastard. Get this Canadian bacon asshole off my... Get him off! Get him off my line! Damn Canadian bastard. You know, why don't you go hump a dead moose or something, or stick a damn, clover leaf up your ass, or whatever, maple leaf, whatever you people do up there. You maple syrup sucking bastard. Give me a break. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We were talking a little bit about how NATO, the general of NATO, is saying, oh, yeah, we're doing a good job, mate. When the French are saying, NATO sucks, and so are the rebels. So we're having an internal institutionalist little fight going on between these ass clowns. So anyway, let's continue on. I want to go somewhere else, all right? Let's talk a little bit about, China. Now the government of China has cracked down on the individuals who were trying to inspire the Jasmine Revolution. And for those of you folks that don't know, I have been an advocate of the Jasmine Revolution, not to mention I am one who will never forget Tiananmen Square. I think that is just a tragedy in human history that the international community, back when the Tiananmen Square incident happened in '89, I think it's a disgrace that the international community did nothing. They sat on their fucking thumbs, excuse my French, but they sat on their thumbs while the Communist government of China went out there and literally killed hundreds of thousands of innocent students protesting peacefully in the middle of Tiananmen Square, killing these people by the hundreds of thousands. Well, the Jasmine Revolution, folks, and we were covering this here on the True Capitalist radio broadcast, the Jasmine Revolution was inspired a lot by the unrest that's happening in the Middle East. A lot of the Chinese are starting, they get press, they get certain versions of press, and a lot of them were exposed to the unrest that was unraveling in the Middle East. And that inspired them to be like, hey, we don't want to be a part of a totalitarian government. You understand? I mean, we don't want these Chinese government, we don't want this communist government ruling over us in a totalitarian fashion. I mean, what the Chinese government is doing, and I'm saying this and I'm going to keep saying it, they are using the Chinese people as below slaves. They are forcing Chinese people into believing a political romantic idea of communism, forcing them to work based upon that ideology. Forcing them to work based upon, oh, yes, it's the worker. Yeah, the communist. You're doing it for communism. You're doing it for the communal reason and all that other crap. Meanwhile, the communist government are becoming billionaires. Let me repeat that. Billionaires on the global economic model on the backs of the below-slave labor that they are forcing their people to do. It is the most disgusting disgrace, the disgusting story in human history. And, for us to continue to sit here and acknowledge the communist government of China just makes me sick to my stomach. But once again, they never surprise me with their torture, with their tragedies, with their disgusting disgrace for humanity. We've got the Chinese authorities now cracking down on the individuals that were related to the to the Jasmine Revolution, the recent Jasmine Revolution. And they have sent the leaders, which is about 8, 9 of them already. I think they're rounding up more, and they're putting them in labor camps. They're putting them in labor re-education camps so that they can be re-educated on how to be a better proletariat. And you can only imagine what kind of things, torture, other types of things that they're being subjected to. I don't even want to imagine, but this is it. This is China here, right? This is the Chinese government that, they have the second largest group of international billionaires out here in the world. and yet they're doing it on the backs of below slave labor in China. You know, it makes me sick. Now, don't get me wrong. The Chinese people are starting to incrementally try to take their rights, but as you can see, the authority of the system of communist government in Japan is not going to jeopardize its totalitarian rule over the people. And let me tell you something, you know, these arrests and imprisonments of these particular individuals who organized the Jasmine Revolution, which was nothing more, folks. Let me explain what this revolution was. It's not like they you know, these damn Egyptian Jehudis that went out there and you know, just started rioting in the streets, breaking buildings, raping women, you know, going into people's houses. No. The Jasmine Revolution was nothing more than a bunch of people gathering around in a crowd, holding up a jasmine flower. And that was going to represent, you know, that, you know, they wanted to be rid of this communist totalitarian government. You know what I mean? I mean, that's basically what it signified. And you see, they are now jailing all the people that participated in this Jasmine Revolution. They're putting them in labor camps. They're putting them in re-education camps, for Christ's sake. I mean, can you imagine the amount of torture? I mean, the amount of pain that these people are going through, for Christ's sake? It's unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. But anyway, folks, you know, before we move on to anything else, we have to give the other side their due when it comes to an explanation. And every time we are critical of the Chinese Communist government, we have to have somebody from the Chinese Communist government give their insight on the criticism that yours truly is giving. And let me tell you, I'm giving a lot of criticism to China. I think China's the communist government of China, not the people. The people are unfortunately below slaves because of this politically romantic idea of communism that they think that they're living for, when in actuality they're being abused and manipulated into below slave labor, while these damn communist government assholes become billionaires off their labor. It's the most disgusting display in history. But anyway, we do have somebody from the communist government of China here ready to chime in about the criticism that I've been giving the communist government. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring that Chinese communist government official on the air. Mr. Fortune Cookie, are you there, sir?
You see, you motherfucker out there talk a lot of garbage about the communist government in China. But you don't understand, Ghost. We got over 1 billion people. We got over 1 billion people in China. And for you motherfucker to come over here and talk garbage about the communist government in China, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, you motherfucker. That's right. So what's going to happen, Ghost? What's going to happen when you motherfucker come over here, you cause a revolution in China, and the Chinese government no longer are around? Who's going to feed 1 billion Chinese people? Who's going to feed 1 billion Chinese people? Not the American people. No. That's why the communist government of China is going to be here for a long time. We own you motherfuckers in America. You people in America, you belong to us. We own your debt, motherfucker. And there's nothing you can do. You sit here talk garbage against the communist government of China, we stick a chopstick up your asshole. Motherfucker. We stick a chopstick up your asshole, motherfucker. And you tell me, Ghost, you tell the people out here in your little radio broadcast, you tell them that the communist government of China forced people to work. Let me tell you something. The people of China work because they want to be a part of the communist government of China. They do it because they want to be a part of our society. That's right. And you want to know why they work so hard, Ghost, for no money? Huh? You want to know why they work so hard for us? Because they do it for Chairman Mao. They do it for Chairman Mao. got nothing else to say. I am Mr. Fortune Cookie. Thank you very much.
All right, get this idiot off. Get him off. I mean, but there it is right there. You know, the Communist government of China doesn't even give a rat's ass. The Communist government, they don't care. They have no care in the world. And you heard the explanation right from the Communist government's mouth. Unbelievable. And not only that, you know what we should do? We should just start, sending B-2 bombers over there and just start throwing forks down on the people. I think that's the first thing we should do with China. Start throwing forks down on the people so they can first of all learn how to eat properly, and then we'll start talking. Anyway, let's go ahead and take some calls here. We're in the third hour of the True Capitalist radio broadcast. Of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. If you could please retweet the broadcast, folks. We got a little retweet button. We got a little Facebook like button. Go ahead and use and abuse those buttons, folks, and spread it around. Spread it around like wildfire that True Capitalist radio is in effect and in the house. And now we're going to take some calls here. Let's call Vitochi. Are you there, Vitochi?
Hey, it's Vince in the Bay.
Hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing?
Oh, man, big things are happening, Ghost. Our Commander-in-Chief is taking the bull by the horns. I don't know if you found out about this, but this is breaking news that just came out. That's right. President Obama will pay his respects to the Oprah on April 27th. The Commander-in-Chief and Michelle are set to officially say goodbye to Oprah during the final farewell stretch of her, the ending of her show. I know we're all saddened by that, but he's going to take a time out from bombing the shit out of Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iraq and now Libya to hang out with Oprah and, I don't know, maybe give away some cars to some middle-income housewives. So that's
unbelievable. This is off the hot wire here. I mean, Obama's already committed that he's going to go out and grace the Oprah Winfrey show out here in the middle of all this.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop there, Ghost. The Commander-in-Chief and Michelle Obama are set to tape a farewell interview as well at Harpo's Studios with the talk show queen Oprah herself, and that will be on the final broadcast on May 25th.
I mean, how does this president sleep at night, rubbing it in the people's faces how nonchalant he is about this job? I mean, making brackets, go and play golf, starting a war while he's in Brazil. I mean, now he's going on the Oprah show in the middle of all this unrest, in the middle of all this financial uncertainty, and international uncertainty. I mean, how does this guy get the gall to do this? I mean, and not to mention, how can the people that voted for him, how can the people that support this man, how can they sit back and continue to sustain their level of substance, whatever they can find, as it relates to backing up the actions of this president?
Hey, preaching to the choir, baby. But this guy is, he's no joke. He's reannounced his campaign. Oh, yeah, by the way, when he's in Chicago to tape with Oprah, he and his family will also be in town for 3 fundraisers.
Oh, yeah, I pretty much knew about those fundraisers. He was going to go back to Chicago and try to, re-energize the base, so to speak, even though the state of Illinois has increased, state income taxes 60-70%. But he's going to go out there and fundraise, right? Oh, there's probably a lot of money to be raised out there in Chicago, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's probably going to kick it with his good friend and buddy Tony Rezko, and they'll probably chop it up and, let the ladies loose and, do some back door dealing, if you know what I'm saying, Chicago style. He's got his boy, his home skillet, what's his name, Rom.
Yeah, Rom Emanuel, that useless piece of garbage, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna party. They're gonna party big time over there in Chicago, in Chi-Town with Oprah, and they're gonna get this gravy train up and running just like they did 4 years ago. Because the kids have a short-term memory. Those drugs that they're taking, the Xanax and the Prozac and the Zoloft and the Wellbutrin, it creates a short-term memory, and as does your marijuana, I have to admit. But I put it down once in a while, and I write in my journal to remind me, hope and change. It didn't work 15 years ago with George Clinton. Why would it work now? And that's what blows me away is these kids got duped with. It wasn't even like a new slogan, hope and change. I mean, it was totally recycled. And even the emblem that they created for him was straight up ripped up. It was like a Pepsi icon that they ripped, graphic or whatever, that they ripped off the logo. I mean, they totally. You want to talk about capitalizing? They capitalized on him as a cult of personality. It's unreal. And I'm out here in the Bay. I'm here in San Francisco, where people still have the Obama Biden stickers on the back of their cars. Like I want to create my own little bumper sticker to addendum to that has a little arrow that says "Going down with the ship, baby." Because it's just like, come on, you people. Like, you got.
No kidding. I mean, going down with the ship is an understatement because I heard Alan Combs today on a morning show, was it Ibis in the Morning, actually defend the actions of this president. Actually defending that, it's not a lot like Bush. We actually got a coalition this time in Libya, and we actually have an international multilateral front. And I mean, just the most ridiculous, bureaucratic, evasive, splitting hair, ideas for debate as it relates to making excuses for this president. I mean, they're coming out with each and every one of them, and it's a disgrace, man, and I can't believe, and you're absolutely right about all the drugs. I've also stated that many times on my broadcast, that these drugs had a major effect on not only the young people, but the people that are of probably 40 years of age. Remember, they started dispensing these damn Ritalins and these Xanax and these Prozacs and all these other narcotics way back in like the early 90s. And, those people are starting to become the members of society that are participating in the political process. And as a result, this is why you have such a cult of personality. This is why you had people go out and vote for Obama, because he's got nice teeth and he's ethnically ambiguous and he speaks so well. I find it funny that, anybody who's racist on Obama like tries to trample on him. But you have O'Biden calling him a well-spoken boy, and you've got Harry Reid blatantly saying that he was one of the good Negroes, and I'm quoting him. That's what he said. He's one of the good Negroes. You can look it up if you don't believe me. And yet, that's swept under the table. No hard feelings. Him and Obama, they're all goody two shoes. Here anybody alludes to the fact that Our president may be turning our country into junkyard America, and all of a sudden, junkyard America. Anyway, that's enough, man. Anyway, I want to thank you for calling, Vince, and I hope everything's going well for you, man. I know that you're out there by the bay and you're being exposed to a whole bunch of radiation. Anyway, let's take some more callers. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I'm going to take some more callers here. Area code 213, you're on the air.
Yeah, baby, what's going on, Ghost? What's going on? I got some good news for you, baby.
Oh, yeah? What could you possibly have as good news?
Say it again, Ghost. I couldn't hear you. My phone was breaking up, baby.
No, I think that it's that kid. You got to pipe down. You got to stop choking that kid. What I'm saying is, what kind of good news could you possibly have?
Well, I mean, first I want to start off the conversation. It seems like every time I'm on hold, you play that Shepherdess song talking about Obama, baby. And I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I don't want to get into a debate with you, but, I just ain't even going to get into it. But you just got to get off Obama's nutsack, baby. I mean, you literally, it's like a bungee cord, baby. It's like you cliff jumping off Obama's dick. I don't even understand.
What are you talking about? This guy is ruining our country. I mean, just because you're getting paid off of getting government cheese and getting the housing voucher program and getting all this stuff, getting free child care, whatever the hell you're getting, doesn't mean that the taxpayer is getting the best end of the stick here. You with all due respect, 213, you are a mooch to society. You are a part of the problem. You're the one creating these deficits, for for Christ's sake. I mean, you shouldn't even have a say-so in this society. You should be lucky if we give you a loaf of bread. And Jesus. And you sit here and act as if you deserve something, as if something's owed to you. You know, you act as though that these tax dollars that are given to your damn broken ghetto ass, are owed to you in some fashion. They are not owed to you, sir or ma'am.
Well, anyway, Ghost, like I said, I ain't trying to be the dead horse. Me and you, we debated that so many times, and we could debate that on another show. But I got some good news, baby. You want to hear my good news, Ghost?
What's your good news? I got to hear that. What's your good news?
Baby, I got me a job today, baby.
Are you kidding me? No way you got
right?
a job. What kind of job did you get?
I'm helping. This dude that my aunt knows. He paints houses, and I'm just, it ain't like my business or anything, but I'm kind of a helper. I make a minimum wage, and I got me a job, baby. So what you think about that, Ghost?
Well, I'm proud of you. You're taking that one step. Now it's time for you to take that money in your job, save it, and get your ass off welfare, get your ass off the government cheese, and maybe start taking care of your kid over there, man. I mean, you are not taking care of your kid properly. Maybe that rib meat that you give it is not something you should be giving it at this point in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I mean, it's like a win-win for me because I was looking through my unemployment insurance handbook and I realized I could make $75 a week without seeing any kind of, decline in my benefits. So I'm just working there like one day a week.
Wait, hold on. You're still collecting unemployment while working?
Yeah, baby, because I'm not making the minimum. You see what I'm saying? They got a minimum that you got to be
I
able
know
to
what
make
you're
every
doing.
week.
I know exactly what you're doing. You are getting paid under the table, aren't you? You're getting paid cash money on this paid and helper stuff, aren't you?
I'm not getting paid. Nah, baby, it says it right here. I've got the unemployment insurance handbook, my rights and benefits and responsibilities. And on page 14 of the book, it says if I make less than $75 a week, I'm still eligible for my benefits. So I just up my monthly income by like 16%, Ghost. That's capitalism at its best, baby.
Yeah, that is sick. That is just unbelievably sick. So you mean to tell me that you're getting a job as, a painter helper, you're going to make sure that you're going to get under $75 a week? Is that what you're? How are you going to get under $75 a week? Even at minimum wage, if you work every day, it's more than $75 a week.
Well, they only need me to help like one day of the week, Ghost. Just like on Saturdays. That's the agreement that me and him came up with.
That's not a job. That's not a job. Are you kidding me? That's something that you do on your spare time. That's a hobby. That's not a freaking job, for Christ's sake. Are you kidding me? You want me to give you props? I mean, why don't you go out and work 40 hours a week like everybody else out here?
I could, baby, but it's just hard to find a job, baby. I don't really have any skills. You know what I'm saying? I don't have
I
any
can find
skills.
you a job right now. All right. April 19th. All right. They're going to be hiring at every McDonald's. Every McDonald's across the country is going to be hiring. All right. And they're going to hire 50,000 new people. So why don't you go out there to McDonald's and work at McDonald's? All right.
Because, baby, there's no way I could work at McDonald's, make the kind of money you're making right now. Why should I?
No. You don't give me this crap. Don't give me this crap. You're collecting our money. You're collecting our tax money, you piece of crap. I mean, don't you have no shame? You have no shame just collecting money off the government teeth like, some waste of human life?
Hell no, I ain't got no shame in raising my kid, Ghost. Why should I be ashamed of raising my kid?
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're raising your kid.
No, baby, you ain't patting his back right now. I am, Ghost. That's where you're wrong, baby.
Oh, man, this is just, you're a really disgusting person. You know that? You're a really despicable piece of shit. Shut up. You are a despicable individual. You are a despicable individual, and you should be ashamed of yourself, but that's the problem. We don't have any shame in America. We don't have any shame in America. Watch. Do you have any shame at all?
Hey, just don't hate the player, hate the game, baby. It's a different form of capitalism, you know. This is ghetto capitalism up in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying, Ghost? That's how we do.
Ghetto capitalism. Shove your ghetto capitalism of your ghetto colon pipe. You fruity ass bastard sitting over here talking all this garbage. I mean, you know, every single time, this asshole calls up and rubs it in the faces of capitalists. He's got that, you know, shit diapered kid in the background crying. And every time he rubs it in the faces of capitalists that he's collecting all this money off the government system and comparing that to being a capitalist. You are not a capitalist. I'm going to repeat this again. You are not a capitalist if you collect any goddamn money from the government. You understand what I'm saying there, you pieces of garbage? Huh? That's all there is to it. Anyway, before we took that call, we were talking about the Jasmine Revolution and how the Chinese government is arresting anybody that was affiliated with the Jasmine Revolution and putting them in labor/re-education camps, which is utterly disgusting in my personal opinion. And I think that it's a shame that the United Nations, NATO, are just turning a blind eye to this crap. You know, but hey, I guess that's life, huh? Anyway, let me go ahead and move on. The London authorities now, folks, because we all know that what was this idiot? What the hell's the prince's name? I don't even care. The prince and then Kate. The prince and Kate, you know, are getting married on April 29th of this month, and everybody's just making such a big deal about it. I mean, even our American media is having a circle jerk over the fact that, oh, yes, we got William and Kate, and, oh, yeah, they're getting together. They're going to have a royal wedding. It's going to be so beautiful, and yeah. Well, anyway, there was a group of individuals that reside in the country of London, or excuse me, the country of England. They were actually going to do this little event in London. This little event in London called the Anti-Royal Wedding Party. And they actually were trying to do this legally. They were trying to get permits. You know, they were trying to have an anti-royal wedding party, you know, in a certain segment of the town of London. Because there's a lot of people in London, although I've criticized limeys out there because I, you know, tell them, hey, why are you worshiping a feudalistic, primitive idea? Well, it's good to see that there are some, you know, three-teeth, fish and chips eating, tea-drinking bastards that are out there that just do not appreciate this royal feudalistic crap. Anyway, they decided to try to, you know, legitimately have a anti-royal wedding mini little festival in some small part of London. Anyway, lo and behold, the authorities of London were like, oh, you know, you can't do that. Don't besmirch the day of our prince and our princess. There's no way we're going to let you have an anti-royal wedding party. No, we're not going to allow it. And the organizers of the event were like, oh, you know, we just wanted people to come over, you know. We just wanted people to have, you know, a civil way of, you know, celebrating the prince and princess's wedding, you know. If you don't really appreciate it, come over here, just, you know, go by the pub, have some fish and chips, and get yourself you know, some kind of a beer, you know. But anyway, the London authorities have denied the anti-royal wedding party that you know, was attempting to be permitted in a certain portion of London. And you know, I just think it's crap, you know what I'm saying? I just think that by not allowing this little anti-royal little party to be permitted so you can have like a civil way for people to, you know, let off their steam, that they're still having to pay for some dumb piece of garbage royal wedding, you know? Some piece of garbage royal wedding that, you know, it means nothing to nobody. It's some primitive concept. It's not even the original bloodline, for Christ's sake. But nobody cares, right? You know, I mean, it's stupid. It's just unbelievable. But you know, for these London authorities not to have any kind of compassion for those that just don't agree with this royal wedding, and allowing them to have a anti-royal wedding party, I think it's going to cause some hardcore disorder. I mean, you know, let's be honest. It could cause a little bit of anarchy. About enough of that, but you get the idea, you know. I mean, you know, I'm an American, and I'm sick of these royals. You know, I'm sick of them, you know, being shoved down my hole. I'm sick of this stupid royal family, you know, having us to, you know, acknowledge these people as somebody important. They're just a stupid reminder of our primitive mankind perceptions of the old world. You know, we shouldn't even acknowledge these people, if you want my personal opinion, you know. But of course, unfortunately, you can't, you know, convince the English to just tell these royals that, look, we don't want to pay for you anymore. Get out. You know, it's very simple, very easy. You know, you don't have to be violent about it. It's only one family. You know, there's not that many of them. You know, I mean, all you got to do is just get out. You know, you're like Terminator, you know, when he goes into that goddamn 18-wheeler, you know, after he gets, you know, he falls off the bike and, you know, scrapes his face, he goes into that damn 18-wheeler and just says, get out. That's what you should do to the royal family. All right, it's a disgrace. I mean, having to acknowledge, and they don't even have the damn bloodline. They're not even the original bloodline, man. Do you understand when y'all, Limeys killed King Philip II, that was it? Y'all killed the bloodline forever? You know, and that was it. I mean, you know, Lord Cromwell had to go as far as to Bavaria into the Austrian-Hungarian Empire to find some descendant of some, you know, offspring of some daughter that was given away like 4 generations prior to the beheading of Charles II. You know what I mean? Give me a break. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They brought in King George, but King George, you know, his lineage is off of a female. You know, I think that the female that they linked to the Austrian-Hungarian Empire to continue the so-called bloodline was, if I'm not mistaken, King Arthur's daughter, or, you know, one of these kings' daughters. You know what I mean? So who cares? I mean, I think it's a disgrace. I mean, you know, Screw kings, queens, feudalistic powers. I take a dirty yellow bubbly piss on anything with a crown. Let's put it that way. Anyway, we got Robbie on the line. Are you there, Robbie? You stupid milkhead. Get this idiot. Get him off! This is what I get here, right here. This is the kind of garbage that I get. Anyway, that's enough of the Royals. I don't care about them. They're stupid pieces of garbage. They're disgrace. And I hate seeing people that are defending these Royals. Like, don't talk about that way about the royal family. They get all this crap, and that's all there is to it. And shove it up your arse. Shut up. Anyway, let's move on to something else. I'm sick and tired of talking about these despicable, disgusting, inbred Royals. As a matter of fact, let me open up a beer here. Let me open up a goddamn beer. Let me tell you, I'm out of the bottle. Let's go ahead and open up a can here. Here we go. God damn, that was a little hard to open there, boy. What the hell was that about? Anyway, 646-652-4869. I want to move on to another story that we reported here on the True Capitalist radio broadcast. Back a few months back, we had CEO of AOL, Armstrong, actually go out and make an acquisition of the Huffington Post at a whopping $315 million. That's right, $315 million. And if you look back at the date of that particular purchase, and you coincide that with the date of the True Capitalist radio broadcast, another great prognostication by Ghost, because right when this happened, I was telling people that this is a bad move, that I would be a little apprehensive about holding stock in this particular company, and you had people calling in on that day when we were reporting when AOL purchased the Huffington Post for $315 million, all right? $315 million. People were calling up saying, man, Ghost, are you kidding me? What the hell should I do? What the hell should I do? And I was advising people, if you wanted my personal opinion, I would sell. And people did sell, and let me tell you, the stock has tanked since the purchase of the Huffington Post. And, at the time when I was criticizing the Huffington Post purchase by AOL, one of the many criticisms I suggested was the fact that wasn't the Huffington Post based upon a lot of bloggers that kind of donated their content, kind of like their free content, just kind of blogged on their expertise, that sort of thing? What makes Arianna Huffington, the sole, copyright queen of the content that was produced by its users? How in the hell can this bimbo go out and get $315 million? $315 million and not pay any of the bloggers. I think she paid 10 or 15 of them. And the only reason is because they were actually the working infrastructure of the company. But lo and behold, believe it or not, you have today, before we get on to today's news, once again, I was against the AOL acquisition of the Huffington Post. $315 million for the Huffington Post? The Huffington Post sucks! The Huffington Post sucks the chrome off of a 57 Chevy bumper. It sucks! And I'm glad that the bloggers now that were, giving such free content to the Huffington Post, I'm glad these bloggers all are getting together and they're finally suing Arianna Huffington's little foreign, South American-sounding 60-year-old uterus-infected ass. I am so glad to see her being sued by these bloggers. Let me tell you, they're suing her ass for $104 million. $104 million for being what they describe as modern-day slave bloggers. And, you kind of got to give them a point, you kind of got to give them a point there. I think that they have a legitimate case to get a good chunk of the money that Arianna Huffington received during that acquisition of her company by AOL. Remember, AOL paid $315 million. $315 million. I mean, and once again, we also talked about, possible implications of connections between these two companies, how there could have been possibly some collusion in some fashion. But let me tell you something right now. I'm glad to see that the bloggers that, blogged the content for Arianna Huffington's Huffington Post are suing her ass for $115 million. But you know what? It's going to come out of this case. I'm going to tell you what's going to come out of this case. She's going to, tell everybody, or her defense is going to be that little link at the bottom of the page that's barely seen that says, privacy policy or copyright or any of that other stuff. Nobody clicks that. Nobody says it. Nobody reads it. It's a big, long, attorney-written contract. And she's going to have some fine print in there that's going to justify her owning the actual content created by other people, just like the Facebook people do. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's horrible. And let me tell you something. If Facebook, when it goes out in the public market, I mean, I would, if I were an attorney, that would be a lucrative litigious opportunity there, in my personal opinion. Anyway, let's take some calls here. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I'm glad to hear that these bloggers are getting together, suing her dumb, foreign tongue ass, and putting her money where her mouth is. You can't just sit over there and make $315 million and give everybody that made your little stupid pissing ground website nothing. Give them nothing? Give me a break. Give me a damn break. And people are saying, well, Blog Talk Radio does it too. Well, maybe to you. I mean, I get a pretty good check from BTR. I mean, even with the paying services. So I don't know about you guys. I mean, but me, I get a pretty good, decent, check considering, So, at least I'm getting something, I mean, these idiots got nothing. These idiots just put their, they put their damn content on there for free, and everybody just kind of, receives it, and that's all there is to it, And then you got $315 million going to Arianna Huffington. Anyway, I'm glad, I'm glad. I'm glad that these bloggers are coming together, and they're suing this stupid Skankosaurus whorebag. Excuse me. Anyway, let's take some calls here. Jackson, what's going on, Jackson? You there, man?
Yeah, what's up? How you doing, man?
I'm just chilling, man. Sipping on a beer. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, I got something to say about that. What's her name? Arianna Jackson? Huffington. What's her name?
Arianna Huffington.
Yeah, that bitch.
I'm sure you're very proud of yourself. You know what I mean? I'm sure you're so proud of yourself. I mean, give me a goddamn break, you stupid milky liquor. I hope that you get injected with cancer of the cock for that type of ridiculous nonsense that you just pulled there, you stupid piece of crap. All right? Anyway, I didn't mean to be so vulgar out there, but anyway, I'm kind of happy to see Arianna Huffington. She's getting sued by the bloggers. $104 million in the suit. What are you going to do about that, Huffington, you old windbag broad? Not to mention that, she was married to a right-winger for a long time until, he came out, that he was gay, I mean, that goes to show you what type of a woman Arianna Huffington possibly is. I mean, I could give you some possible insight, in my personal opinion. It could give you some personal insight on what type of a broad is. I mean, you turn in a damn right-winger, queer, something's up. It's just my personal opinion. Anyway, I don't want to get personal on this Skankosaurus. Let's move on. Anyway, the White House released their little budget-cutting proposal, on top of which they're threatening to increase taxes on people that make over $250,000 a year. You know what I mean? I mean, they're threatening to raise taxes. In the time of economic uncertainty, in the time of unemployment, 9%, around 10%, 9%, hovering around these percentage rates, we got our president and the White House saying we got to raise taxes. And, the thing is that we don't really have a tax problem. We have a spending problem. There's too much outgoing expenditures, too much ridiculous bureaucracy that doesn't need to be around. It does not need to be around whatsoever. Straight up. But unfortunately, our president continues to insist that we need to increase our taxation. We need to, increase taxation and at the same time increase spending. And that's just a recipe that's for disaster. And if you want my personal opinion, if you want to know why the market tanked and the market's helter-skelter today, that right there, my friend, was a big factor in that. That right there is a big factor. Well, you got to think, if an investor who makes over $250,000 in their own personal name, if they've got, holdings right now, they want to cash out those holdings if there's a potential tax hike in the future. They want to cash out and get taxed on the tax rate for this year, so that if there's any potential tax rates and capital gains, because that's what it is, folks, when you sell a stock for a major profit, that's a capital gain, and let me tell you, they're going to increase that. They're going to increase, tax on incomes, on single people, on married people, and it's just going to be an utter disgrace. There should be no reason why we should be heightening taxes in the middle of a situation where economic uncertainty is rampant, international unrest is all over the place. This is just irresponsible policy making. It's just wrong. It's just plain wrong. And what he's cutting is completely cosmetic. He's not cutting anything pertinent. Completely cosmetic. It's not going to make any bit of difference. And the only reason that he wants to increase taxes is that he can, create more bureaucracy, create more bureaucratic jobs. Let's be honest, what's brought our unemployment rate down is the fact that we've had more government jobs. And when government jobs start surpassing private sector jobs, by God, we are in socialism. You understand? We were in socialism at that time. So this is what's really concerning to me. You got this White House continuing to want to spend while at the same time wanting to increase the taxes on people. Unfreaking believable. You know what I mean? Unfreaking believable. But this is the policy making we just have to get used to, right? We just have to get used to this crap, huh? Yes, we can. Huh? Yes, we can, baby. Yes, we can. This is Junkyard America at its finest, baby. You understand? Oh, man, not this again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Junkyard America, baby. You should have known by now. I wasn't going to do Nathan, baby. I was just going to get the presidency and ball out, baby. You ever see what I'm saying? That's what I was going to do. I'm going to ball till I fall, baby. Hey, man. Y'all people stupid, baby. Y'all people stupid little foes out here trying to talk all that garbage about Barack Obama, baby. I'm getting things done, baby. I'm working things out, baby. Woo! 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 Junkyard America, baby. Junkyard America, yeah. But that's just the way it is, folks. And, anybody who wants to disagree with me, right, anybody who wants to disagree with me, go ahead and give me a call right now, 646-652-4869, all right? Seriously, give me a damn call if you think that I'm wrong. You think that I'm just some kind of grotesque, stingy bastard or something. This is the way it is. Anyway, folks, before we move on any further, I'd like to give some shout-outs to everybody that's in the chat room right now. All right? I want to say what's up to everybody out there that's listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. All right, whether you're live or in the archive. And let me tell you, if you're sitting out there being simulcast with the broadcast from somewhere else across the internet, well, by God, come down and see us. The official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, that's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, and not to mention, folks, before I give shout-outs, I want to let everybody know, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, because it means a lot. Anyway, I want to say what's up to Capitalizing. What's going on, Capitalizing? I want to say what's up to Torino. What's going on, Torino? Debbie Daly in the house. What's going on? Desert Rose in the house. Future DMB. What's going on, man? George Orwell in the place. Goopy Bo, just give her a bow. Yeah. Goofy Bones in the house. What's going on, man? We got a whole bunch of guests, man. A whole bunch of guests up in the place. I want to thank you for tuning in. What's going on, guests? Carl Barks in the house. Keishu in the house. What's going on? My kids in the house. Michael Thomas in the house. Moxie's in the house. What's going on? The Nigerian. What's going on, the Nigerian? He's always in here. Peter Bergdon in the house. Strope. What's going on with Strope up in here? I didn't even see you up in here, man. You just kind of being quiet. What's going on with Strope in the house? The truth is out there. What's going on? The truth is out there. Tupac Shakur's in the place. I mean, he rose from the dead like Machiavelli or something. And Vince in the Bay. What's going on? And there's another guest down there. What's going on, guest? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me once again. I really appreciate everybody listening in. Let's move on to another subject matter. We know that, hey, this particular president doesn't really give a crap. He's going to, continue spending, continue taxating, and that's all there is to it. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. Amazon.com is going to sell their another cheaper version of their Kindle. Yeah, a cheaper version of their Kindle. That's actually going to be $25 cheaper than the current one on the market today. $25 cheaper. Now, what's the catch? The catch is that you got to look at ads on your goddamn Kindle 24 hours a day. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, can you believe that crap? You've got to actually look at advertisements on your Kindle 24 hours a day, for Christ's sake, just so you can get it $25 cheaper. I mean, who's the genius out there in Amazon.com that thought that this was going to work? I mean, for $25 less, I got to, sit here and be blazed some kind of a goddamn advertisement. I mean, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. I know, stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, why in the hell would I want to just pay? Okay, I mean, you got to be some kind of a cheap bastard if you can't pay $25 more for a Kindle so you cannot be flashed ads 24 hours a day. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We got 12 minutes left in the broadcast. Before we take some calls, I'd like for everybody, and I'm calling on all capitalists throughout the world that are listening within the sound of my voice. I am calling on you. I'm calling on all workers that pay taxes. I'm calling on all business people, CEOs, corporate people, anybody who pays taxes and does not collect any kind of money from the government. I'm calling on you. We need to come together as an organized front, as a front that understands that we are capitalists and we need to set our authority forth in this new world, in this new age out here, where you've got old world primitive concepts like religious theocracy, like political fanaticism, like cultural autodetermination, like the idea of nationalism, all these ideas causing so much chaos, so much anarchy in the world. Well, I am trying to extend my hand out to everybody out there that is listening within the sound of my voice. Every capitalist worldwide, I'm calling on you. We need to come together. We need to exchange ideas. We need to communicate. We need to act in concert. And I have come up with the first social network strictly and exclusively for all the true capitalists in the international community. This is a social network exclusively for capitalists. And I'm talking about that right there, capitalistarmy.com. www.capitalistarmy.com. As you can see, there the link is there in the chat room. All you've got to do is join, and I'm calling on every true capitalist within the sound of my voice. This is a social network for us to communicate, to exchange ideas, to go out and act in concert if necessary. I'm calling on everybody within the sound of my voice, www.capitalistarmy.com. Anyway, before I move on, we were talking a little bit about how Amazon.com has put out a cheaper version of the Kindle. The Kindle is going to be $25 cheaper, but the catch is you're going to be flashed an advertisement 24 hours a goddamn day on your little Kindle. You know, every time you pick it up, you're going to get a little advertisement of who knows what, you know? Who knows what? And to me, I don't think that's worth the $25 less. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously. Why would? It's stupid. It really is. It's stupid. I mean, I'm going to be flashed advertisements while I'm reading my book. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, it's dumb. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? I want to talk a little bit about Maine, the state of Maine, which there's not much news that comes out of Maine usually, you know. But believe it or not, Maine actually legalized switchblades, which are notoriously illegal throughout America. I mean, you cannot go and, you know, carry a switchblade, even though they sell them out here in, you know, different cutlery places all over the country. But you can't walk around with a switchblade because you can be charged with a felony. Okay? But the state of Maine, the great state of Maine, has legalized switchblades for one-armed people. I kid you not, this is now law. If you happen to have one arm and you feel a little unsafe in wherever the hell you live, I strongly advise you one-armed folks to go out and live in Maine so at least you can, you know, kind of carry around a switchblade legally, you know? You can actually carry around a switchblade legally if you're a one-armed person in the state of Maine. I mean, how cool is that, right? You know, I mean, just imagine all these drunk jagoffs that are coming out of the bars in Maine. I don't know how the scene is in Maine. I mean, I'm sure it's not very big, but, you know, people coming out of the bar, they see some guy with one arm, and you know how jagoffs are when they're drunk. They're like, hey, buddy, what happened to your arm over there, buddy? Well, this guy can pull out a switchblade and tear this guy a new asshole now. You know what I mean? Watch out, he's armed. He's armed. Oh, man. You know, every time you see something like that, man, I mean, me personally, if I saw a one-armed man pull out a switchblade in a fight, I'd have to give the man a hand. I mean, literally, just, you know, I mean, just to help out. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. But anyway, in the state of Maine, they have legalized the carrying of switchblades for one-armed people. So if you happen to be one of the many of the one-armed community, you can now carry a switchblade in Maine. I want to see what people have to say about that. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We got Gary Schultz on the horn here. What's going on, Gary Schultz?
Hello, Ghost.
What's going on?
Hey, man, you know, I've been listening to your show for a long time, and, you know, I agree with you. We need to get rid of all these Jews and all the Mexicans. We need to get rid of them all.
Oh, shut up, you stupid, silly bastard. I'm not saying anything like that. What we should be doing is getting rid of ignorant pieces of cheese whiz guzzling, single-wide trailer park living, hee-haw watching, assholes like yourself. We need to get you off the face of the planet and put you in, some kind of a damn labor camp, because I know that you're probably collecting off of the government dole, so we need to start taking it out of your ass. You see, that's what I don't understand. You know, these people that collect all this money off the government, these people should be mowing my lawn. You know, they should be shining my shoes. They should be taking out my trash. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, these people should be washing my car. They should be doing something. I should be legally able, whenever I'm eating in my car, to take, the leftover trash and throw it out my window. And throw it out in the highway. Just throw it out the window. Who gives a crap? And you want to know why it should be okay for me to do that? Because there's enough of these assholes collecting off the government dime for us to go out and force them to labor, to pick this crap up. I mean, we'll be providing labor for these losers out here that are collecting government entitlements. You know? I mean, that's all I'm saying, man. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, we got about 20... We got about 5 minutes left. Excuse me. We got 5 minutes left in the broadcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me once again. And I'm calling on all capitalists. Please join www.capitalistarmy.com. All right? It is a social networking site exclusively for capitalists. All right? Join it. It's free. No big deal. You know, nobody owns anybody's blogs or ownership. On the contrary, if you have a blog, you can put banners on there if you like. You know, I mean, we have the ability on the CapitalistArmy.com website for you to sell products and integrate your PayPal accounts so you can actually point and click your own products if some potential buyer comes across your profile and they can buy it. I mean, this is all about capitalism, baby. Do you understand? This is why I'm calling on everybody that's listening within the sound of my voice. Join the Capitalist Army. As a matter of fact, start selling things on the Capitalist Army. I ain't taking no percentage. This is just capitalism, baby. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, there's video chat rooms, there's profiles, there's forum posts. There's all kinds of things that you can do on there. It's a great little website that we've created exclusively for capitalists. Once again, www.capitalistarmy.com. There's the link on the screen one more time. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Once again, this is a purely organic show. That means that anybody who knows about this broadcast, it's purely organic. You know, I don't sit here and advertise the broadcast on some forum. I don't go out here and post it anywhere. I don't do anything. This whole base of people is purely organic. So I am extending my hand to you. If you could please retweet the broadcast. Not to mention, if you can go to blogtalkradio.com/ghost and go out there and retweet and push the little Facebook like button. You know what I mean? And do all those little social networking gizmos. Take advantage of them. Use them and abuse them, baby. Do you understand what I'm saying? Push the little Twitter button. Push the little Facebook like button when it comes to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And spread this damn broadcast around like wildfire. Because it depends on people like you, folks. All right? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. It's been a great show. Tomorrow is the Hump Day edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. I broadcast every day, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope to see you here live, chilling with us in the chat room, or listening to us and calling us up. All right? That's the way it is. blogtalkradio.com/ghost, and not to mention, folks, the only social networking site created and made for capitalists. www.capitalistarmy.com. Not to mention, follow me on Twitter, baby. Follow me on Twitter. That's right. Ghost Politics is the name to follow. All right? All one word, no underscores, ass clowns. All right? Ghost Politics. GhostPolitics. Ghost Politics. All right? And hook me up, man. You know, send me some tweets. Not to mention, send me an email, man. Ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. You know, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. And not to mention, spread the show link around like wildfire. Spread it around. All right? Spread it and join the Capitalist Army, for Christ's sake. Join the Capitalist Army. www.capitalistarmy.com. Join the Capitalist Army, you pieces of crap. What are you doing? You're sitting over there, still sitting there doing it. Join the Capitalist Army. Join the Capitalist Army. Cut.
You've
You've been listening to True Capitalist Radio. The thoughts, views, ideas, comments, and opinions of the host of this show are absolutely his. Catch more live episodes Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30 Central, or check out archive shows at blogtalkradio.com. True Capitalist Radio.
That's it.
Oye, is that the new Samsung Galaxy S7? Yeah, I got it for $0 down on AT&T Next. Plus, it takes amazing pictures. Oops. Don't worry, it's a water-resistant Samsung Galaxy S7.
You can get the new Samsung Galaxy S7 for $0 down on AT&T Next, too. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Requires well-qualified credit, installment agreement, and service. Balance due if service canceled. Taxes, activation, or upgrade, and other fees, charges, and restrictions apply. Water-resistant up to 5 feet for up to 30 minutes. Rinse residue, wipe dry. Visit att.com/next for details.